close your eyes and let the day soften at the edges. Tonight, we'll drift into rest with simple, life-changing Buddhist teachings, quiet insights from Zen that calm the mind, loosen the grip of worry, and open a tender space for sleep. There's nothing to achieve, only breath, kindness, and the ease of being exactly where you are. Settle in. Let your body choose a posture that feels safe and easy. The pillow supporting your head, the blanket draping just enough warmth, your hands coming to rest where they naturally want to be. Soften your gaze behind closed eyes, like a window curtain lowering at dusk. There is nothing you have to hold up right now. Gravity will do the holding for you. Let it. Feel the simple touch points that prove you are here. The weight of your head, the outline of your shoulders, the way your back meets the mattress, the quiet presence of your legs and feet. Notice the small details, the temperature of the air across your cheeks, the soft sound in the room, the rise and fall already happening in your chest. You don't need to create your breath or manage it. The body knows how to breathe. Your only task, if there is one, is to arrive. Take a gentle inhale through the nose, smooth and unhurried. Let the breath fill the body the way morning light fills a room. Gradually, evenly, without strain. Then exhale as though you're fogging a mirror in slow motion, releasing a long, quiet stream of air. Feel the tiny settling that follows each out-breath, the way your body drops a fraction deeper into the bed. One breath. One moment. You are arriving. Allow your jaw to loosen. The tongue can rest heavy and broad at the floor of the mouth. Let your lips meet softly, not pressed, not parted, just easy. Smooth the space between your eyebrows from the inside, as if warm water were flowing over your forehead and temples. Let your eyelids be heavy and heavier still. If the eyes want to drift upward or downward behind the lids, let them wander. There is no wrong way to be at ease. Draw your attention to the crown of your head and imagine a slow ripple of softening moving down. It passes through your scalp, releasing tiny muscles that have worked without thanks all day. It moves through the sides of your head, into your ears, down the hinge of your jaw, and across your cheeks. Feel your throat widen on the exhale, like a door quietly opening. Your neck settles, your shoulders lower a few millimeters, just enough to be noticeable. Let that be enough. Let the softening travel into your collarbones and the small muscles around your chest. On the inhale, the ribs lift and widen a little. On the exhale, they settle home. Notice the space behind your heart, the gentle motion along the back body. Your shoulder blades are resting, and with each breath, they rest a little more. One breath, one moment, nothing else is required. Bring awareness to your arms. Let the biceps and triceps slacken, forearms growing heavier, wrists unwinding. Notice the precise weight of your hands, left hand, right hand, the quiet warmth in your palms, the comfortable curve of your fingers. You might feel a mild tingling or a gentle pulse. Let that sensation be a small lantern in the dark, steady and kind. Now, your attention drifts to your back. The upper back has carried enough. Invite it to release. The mid-back widens. The lower back lets go of any urge to brace. If your body shifts or micro-adjusts, let it do so. Wisdom lives in those tiny movements. Trust them. The bed is a lake and you are floating, supported everywhere. Move down into the belly. Let the belly be free of holding, free of expectation. On the inhale, the belly rises effortlessly. On the exhale, it falls. Feel the breath like a quiet tide, washing in and drawing back, washing in and drawing back. There is a rhythm here older than thought. Borrow its calm. If you like, you can count lightly. Inhale for 4, exhale for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If counting fades, let it fade. If it helps, keep it. You don't need to get this right. You only need to be here. Let the ease flow into your hips. The hip joints soften. The glutes unclench. The tops of the thighs become heavy and quiet. Knees rest. Calves settle. Ankles loosen. The feet find their natural angle. Heels weighted. Arches relaxed. Toes uncurled. Sense the simple fact of being held from head to heel. The floor of the night is under you, and it will not move. Return to the breath as an anchor. Imagine that each inhale is a gentle bell ringing once in the distance. Clear, simple, complete. Allow the exhale to be the fading echo of that bell, traveling outward until it blends with silence. If thoughts appear, let them be like tiny leaves drifting across the surface of a pond. Noticed, allowed, not followed. The leaf passes. The pond remains. Your breath is the pond. If the mind brings you the day, its conversations, its lists, the moment you wish had gone differently, bow to it inwardly and let it pass. Remind yourself, not now. Not because those things are unimportant, but because they deserve a rested mind, and a rested mind grows here. You can say softly, later, and then return. One breath, one moment. Invite a feeling of safety. Name what is supportive. A roof above you, a bed beneath you, the quiet within these walls. Imagine drawing a soft circle of care around yourself, the radius of your body, your breath, your bed. Within this circle, nothing must be fixed. Within this circle, you are free to release all roles and names. For the span of a few breaths, you are simply breath and warmth and awareness. Let your exhale lengthen a little more, as if the air is pouring out through a straw. Feel how a long exhale signals to the nervous system. We're safe. Notice the small pause at the bottom, the gentle stillness after the breath leaves and before the next breath naturally arrives. Rest inside that stillness. There is no need to reach for the inhale. It comes on its own, like a friendly tide returning to shore. If you feel any place of tightness, a line across the forehead, a knot between the shoulder blades, a small storm in the belly, place a breath there. Imagine the inhale flowing to that place, meeting it with warmth. Imagine the exhale as a release valve, letting the tightness seep out slowly. No force, only meeting and softening. You might silently whisper to yourself on the inhale, here, and on the exhale, now. Inhale, here. Exhale, now. Or inhale, just this. Exhale, just this. Let the words be featherlight, disappearing the moment they've helped you arrive. If words feel like too much, let them drop and rest in simple sensation. The quiet heaviness of the body, the easy rhythm of breath. Allow your awareness to widen and soften at the same time, like a lantern turned low in a spacious room. In this gentle awareness, every small sound is part of the lullaby of the night, the hush of air, a faint creak, distant life going about its business. Nothing needs to be kept out. Everything is allowed. The world can be as it is, and you can be as you are. Notice how relief spreads when permission is given. If a worry taps your shoulder, meet it with kindness. You can say, "Thank you for trying to protect me. Please rest with me now." See if the worry will sit beside you instead of inside you. The breath will keep you company. The bed will hold you both. Over time, the worry grows quiet because it realizes you are safe. Feel the back of your body as one broad field, like a meadow at night. Sensations come and go across the field, the grazing of a breeze, the settling of grass. Nothing disturbs the meadow's nature. Your awareness is like that, vast enough to include everything untroubled at its core. Let this understanding be a soft pillow for the mind. Breathe in a sense of gratitude, so simple it needs no words. Gratitude for a body that has carried you, however imperfectly. Gratitude for breath that keeps arriving, gift after gift. Gratitude for the chance to rest. Notice how gratitude and sleep are friends. Each invites the other closer. If you like, imagine a small warm light in the center of your chest, steady and gentle. With each inhale, it brightens a little, not dazzling, just soothing. With each exhale, it radiates outward, through ribs and shoulders, down the arms into the hands, down through the belly and hips into the legs and feet, upward through the throat and face and scalp, until your whole body glows faintly with calm. The glow doesn't demand anything. It simply keeps you company as you drift. Let your breathing become even softer now, as if your body is being breathed by the room itself. The bed rises to meet you with every inhale and settles with you on every exhale. You are synchronized with the quiet around you. Nothing is separate from this rest. From time to time, remind yourself gently, one breath, one moment. That is enough. Let the phrase arrive and dissolve like a wave washing the shore. If the breath becomes so light it's almost not there, trust it. The body knows how to sleep. You don't need to push the river. You don't need to push anything at all. Now allow everything to blur at the edges. The line between inhale and exhale softens. The line between body and bed softens. Thought becomes lighter than a cloud, then lighter than mist, then perhaps not there at all. If it returns, let it return. If it fades, let it fade. The arrival is complete. You are here. Breath is here. This moment is here. And as the next exhale flows out like a long, quiet tide, the gentle doorway of sleep opens of its own accord. Let yourself arrive as if for the very first time. Imagine that this moment has never happened before. Not this breath, not this room, not this version of you lying here. Let the freshness of that possibility open like a small, quiet door. Step through without effort. There is nothing to recall and nothing to plan. Only the simple fact of now. Notice how the mind wants to explain things, to name them, to decide quickly, comfortable or not, good or bad, success or failure. Tonight, let the mind be relieved of that duty. Give it a gentle message. It doesn't have to judge. It can simply look. Let looking be soft, like eyes adjusting to starlight. You are not trying to get anywhere. You are simply curious about what is already here. Feel the breath as if you've never felt a breath before. The first inhale of a new world. Cool air touching the nose, sliding along the back of the throat, expanding the chest and belly with no effort from you. The first exhale of a new world. Warm air leaving, shoulders lowering a little, the whole body loosening by a fraction. Let yourself be surprised by this ordinary miracle. Beginner's mind finds wonder in the plainest things, and that wonder quiets the restlessness that keeps sleep away. Bring attention to your hands. As if you were discovering hands for the first time, sense their weight, their warmth, the gentle curve of each finger where it rests. Notice the small pulse at the wrist, the tingling in the fingertips, the contact with the sheets. No story, only sensation. If the mind whispers, "I know this," smile inwardly and look again. Each moment is new enough to meet anew. Let the breath continue like a kind teacher who asks for nothing. On the inhale, silently say, "What's here?" On the exhale, let it be. What's here? Let it be. If thoughts come, that's what's here. If stillness comes, that's what's here. Nothing to keep, nothing to push away. This is the ease of not knowing. You do not have to decide in advance how your experience should be. You can meet it, one soft moment at a time. If a memory arrives, greet it gently. "Oh, hello." If a plan appears, greet it the same way. Let each visitor sit at the edge of your awareness without needing to move closer or farther. Beginner's mind is hospitable, curious, patient, not defensive. The more relaxed your welcome, the less your visitors need to shout. They settle. The room grows quieter. Bring your attention to sound. Hear the nearest sound, then the farthest you can detect. A faint creak, a hush of air, perhaps a distant car, perhaps a soft night silence. Pretend you have never heard these sounds before. What are they like? Not the names you give them, but their texture, steady or intermittent, thin or full, near or airy. Let the listening be wide and effortless. When listening is clean of labels, it stops pulling at you. Sounds pass through without catching. Now sense the weight of your body again as if for the first time. The back of the head resting, the shoulders supported, the length of the spine, the easy heaviness of the hips, the long lines of the legs, the gentle settling of the feet. Beginner's mind does not compare this posture to any other. It simply notices the points of contact and allows them to deepen with each exhale. Let the bed carry you more completely than before. Try a small experiment. Imagine that you have never learned the words tension or relaxation. Without those labels, see whether you can feel areas of the body that ask for attention and areas that feel spacious. Give a few breaths to the places that ask, like watering a dry plant. Then feel the spaces that are already open and easy, and let their ease pour outward, like a gentle spill of warmth. You do not need to name any of it. Feeling is enough. If the mind reaches for a technique, meet that reaching with curiosity. What does reaching feel like? Perhaps a little leaning forward inside the head, a small tightening behind the eyes, a sense of chasing notice, and then let the next breath lean back. Beginner's mind leans back into the kindness of the present. Without leaning, sleep approaches on its own. You might sense the breath as three soft parts: the in-breath, the out-breath, and the small pause after the out-breath. Meet each part as brand new. The first part, a gentle gathering, a welcoming in. The second part, a quiet release, a letting go. The third, the restful moment where nothing needs to happen. Linger in that moment as long as it naturally lasts, like sitting at the shoreline between waves. Do nothing. Let the body be breathed. Allow your face to be discovered from the inside. Notice the forehead like a wide, smooth plane. Notice the eyelids. How heavy feels different from very heavy, and how both are allowed. Notice the tiny muscles around the eyes and let them unknit. Notice the cheeks, the jaw, the lips lightly touching. Ask with sincere curiosity, how soft can this be? Let the answer arrive by itself. Shift attention to the belly with the attitude of a beginner. Do not assume what you will feel. Meet the rise and the fall as unfamiliar and interesting. Perhaps you discover a rhythm or a stubbornness or a quiet willingness. What you discover is perfect for discovering. On the inhale, say inwardly, "Teach me." On the exhale, "I'm listening." The body responds to this humility by releasing what it no longer needs to hold. If a judgment pops up, "I'm not doing this right. This isn't working. I should be asleep by now." Bow to it as a predictable old habit and then treat even that habit as new. How does a judgment feel in the body? Does it tighten the throat, lift the shoulders, speed the breath? Seeing it clearly is already different from being caught by it. Clarity is a pillow for the mind. Rest your head there. Let your curiosity explore the edges of your body where air meets skin. The air may feel cool at the nostrils, soft on the cheeks, neutral at the forearms, still around the ankles. Sense the faint border and how it is not a hard line, but a gentle gradient. This noticing brings you into direct contact with life as it is, not life as a concept. Direct contact is restful. It doesn't argue, it receives. Consider the idea that tonight you don't need to be the person who knows. You can be the person who notices. The one who knows has a list and an opinion. The one who notices has space is where sleep unfolds. Let yourself be the spacious one, the beginner who trusts what appears and lets it go when it's ready to go. Try this simple rhythm for a few rounds. Inhale and silently say, "Fresh." Exhale and silently say, "Release." Fresh, release. Or, if words feel too heavy, drop them and feel the texture of freshness entering, the texture of release leaving. Let each cycle be the first of its kind. In this way, the breath becomes endlessly interesting, and the mind does not need to wander far to find something kind to notice. Invite a childlike sense of wonder without effort. If it helps, imagine placing a small, smooth stone of curiosity in the center of your palm. It's cool at first touch, then warms with your heat. You don't need to do anything with it. You simply hold it lightly, the way you hold this moment lightly enough that nothing is trapped, steadily enough that nothing needs to run. Open attention to the heart area. Approach as a beginner, free of conclusions about what you might find. Maybe there is ease, or a dull ache, or not much at all. Whatever is here is welcome to be here. Place 3 quiet breaths there, not to change anything, but to say, "I see you." Often, being seen gently allows the tightness to untie itself. Notice how beginner's mind allows mistakes to be harmless. If your focus drifts, good. You get to discover the moment of return, which is one of the sweetest moments in practice. The instant you notice you've wandered, you're back. That noticing is the bell. You do not need to criticize. You can even be grateful. Each return is another step into softness. Now let attention spread like ink in clear water, slowly, evenly, so it includes the whole body at once. Breath moving, blood pulsing, muscles resting, mind quieting. Hold the entirety lightly. If any single area calls louder, give it one friendly breath, and then include it again in the whole. This is how beginner's mind relates. Nothing excluded, nothing clutched. If sleep has not already begun to draw you under, reassure the mind that there is no schedule. There is only this open moment, arriving and arriving again. You can rest inside, not knowing when exactly you will cross the threshold. In a sense, you are already on the other side each time you meet the next breath as new. As you drift, keep the gate of curiosity ajar. Let your last clear thoughts be simple, spacious questions that do not need answers. What is this breath like? What is this quiet like? What is this softness like? The questions are feathers that land and dissolve. What remains is the wordless feeling of being here, brand new, with nothing to prove and no past to carry. And now, allow even curiosity to loosen its fingers. Let attention become so gentle, it almost isn't doing anything at all. The body is safe. The room is kind. The breath is quietly making and unmaking the moment. With each exhale, the fresh world dims to a soft glow, not because it is less alive, but because you no longer need to look at it. It can hold you while you sleep. The door you opened at the beginning stays open without you holding it. You are free to step through into rest as if for the first time, because in truth, this moment always is. Let this moment teach you gently. Everything moves. Notice the most honest teacher, the breath. It rises without being forced and falls without being held. With each inhale, there is a slight expansion, with each exhale a settling, and between them, a small pause that never lasts. Feel that rhythm. You don't make it happen. You witness it happening. Impermanence becomes simple here, a quiet fact that supports you like the mattress beneath your body. Bring attention to the places where your body touches the bed. Even these points of contact are not fixed. The pressure shifts with each breath. A little more weight here, a little less there. The warmth under your shoulder grows, then evens out. A muscle in the lower back releases a thread of tension, and then forgets it was tense at all. If you look closely, stillness is made of tiny changes. Let this be reassuring. When all things change, no single discomfort can own the night. Let the face soften in its own time. Scan the forehead, the eyes, the jaw. You may notice subtle flickers. Eyelids heavier, then lighter. Jaw unclenching, then resting. Tongue finding a more comfortable place. You are not pushing anything to happen. You are accompanying what naturally wants to happen. The body understands impermanence. It is fluent in it. The mind is learning the same language now. Slowly, kindly. Invite the breath to lengthen just a little on the exhale, the way a wave runs a finger farther up the shore before sliding back. Feel the nervous system read that longer exhale as a message of safety. Safety lets go of urgency. Urgency loosens its grip on thought. Thought, freed from being the boss, can drift like a leaf in a stream. Each time you notice a thought, feel how it changes midstream. Image to word, word to feeling, feeling to quiet. Watch the transformation instead of resisting it. Watching is restful. Consider the day you carried here. Every moment of it has already changed into memory. The conversation, the list, the mistake, the bright spot, all of it now softer at the edges, already turning into something else. Impermanence means the day knows how to put itself away. You do not have to repack it, item by item. If the mind tries to reopen a drawer, let the next exhale close it again. Swift, quiet, done for now. Bring your awareness to sound. Even silence has texture, and it shifts. A faint hum, then a pause, a soft creak, then calm again. Sounds rise, take shape, and fade. None of them last. None of them belong to you. And none of them need to be managed. See if you can hear the entire arc of a sound. Its beginning, its middle, its end. let the endings soothe you. Endings are not failures. They are invitations to rest. Now feel the flow of temperature across your skin, the small cool at the nostrils, the warmth cupped under the blanket, the neutral air at the cheeks. These too are changing. Breath warms as it leaves, coolness follows as it enters. If you notice a patch that feels too warm or too cool, wait one breath and check again. Almost always, the sensation has already shifted. When you see how quickly experience updates itself, urgency dissolves. What asks for your attention now might not ask a moment later. You can let go and let time help. If a worry appears, watch it in real time. At first, it might be sharp. Then it breaks into smaller parts. An image, a sentence, a bodily twinge. Perhaps the image fades while the sentence lingers. Perhaps the twinge softens first. Either way, you can notice the pieces changing shape and intensity. You don't need to argue with a moving target. You can let it move until it moves out of view. This is not avoidance. It is wisdom. You are trusting the natural motion of the mind to carry the worry away when it has delivered its message. Turn your attention to the hands. See if you can feel the pulse there. It is never exactly the same beat twice. Between beats there is a tiny stillness, then life continues. Rest in that truth. The body is constantly adjusting, repairing, balancing. You are allowed to participate by doing less. Each exhale is permission to step back, to let the body do its quiet, competent work. Let the sense of impermanence widen to include emotion. Perhaps there is calm, perhaps there is restlessness. Imagine placing a small transparent bowl over whatever you feel, not to trap it, but to see it clearly. Watch how even strong feelings flicker, tight then looser, hot then warm, loud then quieter. You do not have to believe any feeling is permanent. The moment you stop believing that, sleep has space to approach. Remember that impermanence includes pleasantness too. If a wave of comfort comes, weight settling perfectly, breath flowing easily, enjoy it without grasping, let it pass through like a friendly visitor. Grasping turns softness into tension. Meeting and letting go keeps the door open for more softness to come. In this way you cultivate ease the way a garden is tended. Light touch, steady attention, patience. Bring your awareness to the belly. Feel the tide of each breath. If the belly feels guarded, let it know that change is the rule here. You may place a hand there, light as a moth. Tell it silently. You don't have to hold everything forever. Notice what happens in the half second after you say that. Maybe nothing. Maybe a small release you would have missed if you were not looking. These small releases add up. Sleep often arrives through accumulated small doors, not one dramatic gate. If your mind insists, "This feeling always comes at night," or "I never fall asleep quickly," hear these words as habits, not facts. Replace always with sometimes. Replace never with not yet. Let language reflect change. Sometimes I feel this. I haven't fallen asleep yet. The nervous system relaxes when the story becomes flexible. Flexibility is kindness. Picture a shoreline at night. Waves keep arriving, none the same size, none the same shape. You do not demand a particular wave. You lie back and listen to the pattern, and the pattern lies back with you. Thoughts are waves. Sensations are waves. The self you think you are right now is a pattern of waves too. Gentle, shifting, able to rest when it stops trying to freeze the ocean. If you like, Count a few rounds in a way that honors change. Inhale for 4, exhale for 6, then let the next few breaths choose their own timing. Return to counting if it helps, release it if it doesn't. The practice itself is impermanent, used when useful, set down when not. This is freedom. Let your shoulders become heavier by one small degree, then another. The collarbones widen without effort. The upper back spreads like a quiet fan, then rests. The mid-back softens into the bed. The lower back gives up a layer of bracing you didn't realize was there. Feel how each part does not relax all at once, but in waves. Doesn't that mirror the way sleep arrives? Not a switch, but a series of softenings that accumulate into silence. Bring gentle awareness to the throat and the space behind the heart. On an inhale, sense a slight opening. On an exhale, sense a settling. Even openness changes into settling. Even settling changes into the next opening. The rhythm is trustworthy. Trust allows you to stop checking. When checking quiets, rest deepens. Consider the seasons moving through a single tree. Bud, leaf, shade, color, bare, and then bud again. The tree does not panic when leaves fall. It does not cling to branches that are ready to let go. Your mind is learning tree wisdom now. What can drop will drop when it's time. What remains will remain without strain. Notice how this understanding softens the jaw, slows the breath, slackens the hands. At the edges of sleep, thoughts often blur and reassemble. Let them. Imagine you are watching a page turn by itself. Words fade before you finish reading them, and that is perfectly fine. The meaning of the day is complete enough. The book can end mid-sentence when you are tired. Impermanence is the kind librarian who closes the cover for you, returns the story to the shelf, and dims the lights. If discomfort arises, an itch, a twinge, wait half a breath before responding. Many sensations crest and fall quickly. If it lingers, adjust with the minimum movement, then be still again. Even decisions can be light. Try stillness, then movement, then stillness. Notice the relief of not needing to find the perfect posture, only the next kind posture. Each adjustment is temporary. That makes it easier to choose. Let the mind taste the simplicity of this phrase. This too is changing. Apply it to the breath, to sounds, to feelings, to the sense of me. The phrase is not a trick, it is a reminder. If it feels useful, repeat it with the exhale and allow the exhale to carry it away. If the phrase becomes unnecessary, let it fade like any other sound. Now widen attention until it feels spacious and thin, like a calm sky at night. Everything that arises appears within this space and dissolves back into it. No effort is required to keep the sky open. The openness is natural. When you sense it, grasping loosens. When grasping loosens, sleep finds room to land. If you notice the impulse to check the time, recognize it as a ripple of fear that itself is already passing. You can tell that impulse, "I see you," and let it go without following. Time continues without you measuring it. The body keeps time with breath, and that is enough. Let yourself be carried now. The exhale lengthens a little more, the body grows heavier by degrees, and thought unwinds from complete sentences into soft fragments and then into quiet. Trust the momentum of release. Trust that every moment is handing you to the next, like a relay of kindness. There is nothing to hold on to because you are being held. Before the last clear edges blur, offer a simple blessing to the flow of change. May I move with life. May this night carry me. Then let even the blessing dissolve. The room, the breath, the body continue their subtle dance of appearing and fading. You have nothing to manage. Impermanence will do the work of softening everything that needs softening. And as the next exhale empties like a gentle tide drawing back from the shore, the quiet space it leaves behind opens into sleep. Let yourself rest in the simplest way, by not trying. Imagine placing every plan, every technique, every last idea about how to relax onto a small table beside the bed. You can pick them up later if you need them. For now, let the room be quiet and let yourself be quiet inside it. The body knows how to soften when effort steps out of the way. Feel the natural weight of your body. Notice gravity doing the work that will not ask anything of you. The bed rises to meet you. You do not have to hold yourself up. If a small impulse appears to adjust or improve the posture, smile at it gently and ask, what is the least I need to do? Then, do even a bit less. This is the art of non-striving, a soft subtraction, a returning to what was already enough. Let the breath come and go on its own timetable. You can watch it the way you would watch a quiet tide, arriving, receding, arriving again, without managing the waves. If you find you are steering the breath, ease your hands off the wheel. Breathe just enough to be alive, and trust the rest to take care of itself. The nervous system hears this permission and settles. Soften the face from the inside. There is nothing to perform. Eyebrows can be undecided, jaw uncommitted, tongue broad and heavy. The eyes can sink backward as if reclining in their own chairs. If a thought comes that says, relax more, let it drift by like a suggestion you don't need to follow. Unclenching is not another task. It happens like snow melting in the sun. Picture a clear pond after a breeze. The surface ripples, then stills on its own. You do not press the water flat with your hands, you simply stop stirring it. In the same way, let thinking slow because you are not pushing it forward. Thoughts may keep walking through the room of your mind. Let them pass without asking where they're going. Doors can stay open. Things find their own way out. Bring attention to the shoulders. Imagine they were never meant to carry the whole day, only to turn and reach when needed. Let them drop a few millimeters. Let the collarbones widen without effort, like doors that were never locked. The upper back spreads into the mattress. The middle back follows. The lower back releases the idea of bracing. If any part seems to wait for permission, give it. You can stop now. Move awareness down the arms. Biceps slacken, forearms quiet, wrists unhook. Feel the hands become pleasantly heavy, as if they were warm stones placed by a gentle stream. Fingers curl or lengthen as they wish. There is nothing to correct. The body will choose its own version of ease if you allow it. Allowing is your whole practice here. Let the belly be soft enough to rise and fall like a small boat on calm water. No sailor needed. If the mind suggests counting, you may count a little. If counting turns into effort, let it dissolve. If you find yourself analyzing how to let go, notice that analyzing is another form of doing. Bow to it and return to feeling. Feeling is simple. Feeling does not argue. Notice how non-striving changes your relationship with discomfort. If a twinge appears in the hip or an itch on the cheek, do nothing for half a breath. Often it fades on its own. If it remains, make the smallest change that answers it, a slow shift, a light scratch, and then be still again. You are learning the minimum necessary kindness. which is lighter than trying to solve the whole body. Give yourself a quiet sentence to rest on, something like, nothing to fix, or already enough, or let be. Whisper it inwardly on the exhale, and feel how the body hears the message. If even the sentence begins to feel like work, let it go too. The point of the raft is to carry you until you can float. Then you leave the raft gently on the shore. Let your awareness drift to sound, but as a guest, not a guard. You are not posted at the door, checking every noise for importance. Sounds come and go on their own. Distant rumble, light creak, the hush of air non-striving means you don't assign them jobs. They can be part of the lullaby of the night. Nothing needs your supervision. Bring a soft attention to the heart area. There may be calm, there may be flutter, there may be not much at all. Whatever is here is already happening. You do not have to improve it. Place 3 unhurried breaths. They're like warm hands. Let the chest expand only as much as it wants. Let it settle only as much as it wants. You are keeping company, not giving orders. Imagine your mind as a wind chime on a still porch. When a breeze moves through, the chime rings. When the breeze rests, the chime rests. There is no effort in either state, no criticism for sounding or for being silent. Thought is the breeze. You are the chime. Permission replaces control. Remember the truths your body understands without being told. Digestion continues, blood flows, tissues repair, breath returns, all while you do nothing. Sleep belongs to this family of involuntary kindnesses. It happens when the conditions are gentle. Your role is simply to set down the heavy tools, measuring, comparing, striving, and let gentleness do the work. Let the hips loosen by degrees, the glutes ease, thighs sink, knees rest in their own angle, calves lengthen into the bed, ankles and feet fall wherever they want to fall. If one foot wants to roll outward and the other inward, let asymmetry be welcome. Nature is full of easy asymmetries. Perfection is not a posture, it is a permission slip. If a story begins about the day, about tomorrow, about sleep itself, listen only long enough to feel the first exhale that follows. Then let the exhale carry the story down the river. You do not need to push the river, it knows the way. Your job is to sit back in the boat and place the oars on the floor. Try doing less than you think is required. If you are holding the breath a little, hold it less. If you are pressing the tongue to the roof of the mouth, press it less. If you are listening hard, listen less. If you are trying to feel the body, try less and simply be the body. Non-striving often feels like subtracting the last 5% of effort you didn't realize you were spending. Let your exhale lengthen just a bit, like a sigh that didn't need to be announced. Feel how the body lowers itself by a fraction after the breath leaves. That fraction is the direction of travel. You do not need to widen the road, speed the car, or check the map. The vehicle is already rolling down a gentle hill, and brakes are unnecessary. If a thought argues, doing nothing won't help, say, "Thank you," and release it. Doing nothing is not neglect, it is trust. You are trusting a process older than thought. Flowers open without being pulled. Clouds part without being pushed. Lakes clear when the mud is left alone. Your mind is the same kind of lake. Let the skin feel the quiet air. Let the outline of your body blur slightly into the room, like ink in water. Non-striving often feels like soft boundaries, less guarding, more belonging. You belong to this bed, this breath, this moment. Belonging makes effort unnecessary. If guilt appears, I should be doing more, meet it with a kind counterweight. Rest is an action. In fact, rest is the action that allows every other action to be wise. You are practicing wisdom by pausing. The ceiling does not fall when you stop holding it up. It was never your job. Sense the small pause at the bottom of the exhale. Rest there, not by holding your breath, but by noticing the natural quiet between breaths. That quiet is a door that opens by itself. You don't need to turn the handle. You simply find that you are already on the threshold. And then somehow, you are already through. Allow even your practice to relax. If you have been following steps, let steps become suggestions. If you have been tracking sensations, let tracking fade into background knowing. If you have been repeating a phrase, let the phrase thin to a hum, then to silence. Let silence be the teacher. Think of a field at night after the work is done. Tools are set down. The ground is still. What grows will grow by its own intelligence. You are the field. Set down the tools of self-improvement, even the polished ones. The growth you need now is not growth at all, but settling. Offer yourself 3 simple permissions: to be unfinished, to be exactly as you are, and to let the next moment arrive without your help. Feel how each permission loosens something subtle: the forehead, the breath, the space behind the heart. This loosening is enough. Enough is your destination and your path. If you notice the urge to check the time, recognize it as a small ripple of fear. Let the next exhale meet it and smooth it. Time will continue whether or not you measure it. Your body keeps a kinder clock. Now let attention become wide and thin, like a sheet of silk laid over everything: breath, body, room. The silk doesn't cling or squeeze, it simply rests. You rest with it. Thoughts dim to murmurs. Sensations settle into a soft background. Effort dissolves like sugar in warm tea. Before everything becomes very quiet, you may place one last sentence in the mind, like a feather on water. I'm allowed to do nothing. Then watch the feather drift until even watching is more than you need to do. The bed holds you. The breath carries you. The night completes your sentences for you. Without any pushing, you find yourself already moving across the threshold where rest becomes sleep, gently, naturally, exactly when it wants to. Because you have remembered the secret. Nothing was broken, and nothing needed fixing. Let tonight be exactly what it is. Not better, not worse, not different, just as it is. Feel the pillow supporting your head as it actually feels, not as it should feel. Notice the blanket touching your skin in the way it's touching right now. The air has the temperature it has. The body has the sensations it has. The breath is moving the way it moves. Let each simple fact be allowed, unedited. Suchness means the world does not need your commentary to be complete. Settle your attention on the small truths closest to you. The weight of your head, the quiet slope of your shoulders, the way your back meets the mattress, the belly rising, falling, rising again. You don't have to like or dislike any of it. Let liking and disliking be another set of sensations you can feel and release. Give yourself a gentle instruction, only notice. Then notice. Let words soften. Instead of tight or loose, feel pressure. Instead of comfortable, or uncomfortable, feel contact, warmth, coolness, pulse, expansion, contraction. When you let go of labels, what remains is direct experience, clean and simple. That simplicity is restful. Rest invites sleep. Allow the face to be as it is. If the eyebrows want to settle, let them. If they don't, let them. If the jaw loosens, welcome it. If it holds, welcome that too. You are practicing non-resistance at the smallest scale. The tongue lies however it lies. The lips meet as they meet. The eyes rest however they rest. Nothing to correct, nothing to improve. Only the quiet fact. Here. Bring attention to the breath without managing it. Notice the path it takes through the nose or mouth, the rounding of the ribs, the gentle movement of the belly. Feel the exhale leave on its own. When the breath pauses at the bottom, do not reach. Just witness the pause that already exists. There is a relief in letting nature be natural. Turn your attention to sound. Hear the nearest sound and let it be part of the room. Hear the farthest sound you can detect and let it be part of the night. A faint hum, the hush of air, a soft creak. These are not interruptions. They are elements. Suchness includes them. Nothing needs to be shooed away. Noise without story is simply sound. Sound without resistance is already quiet. Let the mind show you whatever it wants to show. A picture from earlier, a sentence about tomorrow, a random memory, an odd shape with no name instead of pushing away. Try this. See the thought appear. Notice its texture, image, word, feeling, and then notice that it changes. It stretches, fades, shifts, and often dissolves on its own. Grant thoughts the same permission you grant sounds. They are allowed to be part of the night. Rest your attention for a moment on the heart area. Not to fix anything, only to feel what is true there. Perhaps there's ease, perhaps a flutter, perhaps a warm neutrality. Tell yourself softly, just this. The phrase points the mind back to what's actually present, without the extra luggage of preferences. Just this is a gentle key that opens the door to now. Explore the idea of no comparison. This breath does not need to be compared to the last breath. This posture does not need to be measured against the posture you used yesterday. The mind loves progress reports, but sleep loves sufficiency. Sufficiency is the understanding that this moment is already whole. When you stop evaluating, the body stops bracing. Move awareness slowly down the body, not to change anything, but to acknowledge what is here, neck as it is, shoulders as they are, upper back, mid-back, lower back as they are, hips, thighs, knees, shins, ankles, feet, each part free to be itself. If a place asks for a small shift, make the smallest shift that answers it, then return to letting be. The spirit of suchness is cooperative, not controlling. Notice the edges of sensation where air meets skin. At the nostrils, cool on the inhale, warm on the exhale. Along the cheeks, a stable quiet. At the forearms, a hint of stillness. Around the ankles, a calm neutrality. Let the borders blur ever so slightly, as if your body and the room were neighbors sharing a fence made of light. Nothing needs to be guarded. You belong here. If discomfort arises, try this gentle sequence. Recognize, allow, attend. Recognize, sensation. Allow, it may be here. Attend, place one breath there without forcing change. If it eases, good. If it doesn't, good. Your job is presence, not perfection. When you stop insisting on a different experience, much of the friction dissolves, and what remains is workable. Bring a tiny smile, not on the mouth but in the attitude, to everything you meet. Not amusement, but friendliness. Friendliness toward the busy mind, toward the restless leg, toward the sleepy heaviness. Friendliness toward the part of you that wishes things were different. Even that wish is part of suchness. Let it be here too, like a small bird that lands, looks around, and eventually flies on. Try a simple phrase with the breath, if phrases help. On the inhale, as it is. On the exhale, as it is. Or inhale, just so. Exhale, just so. The words are not magic. They are reminders. They point you back to the plainness of experience. If the phrase begins to feel like extra noise, let it fade. Silence says the same thing. Let the shoulders remember that gravity is trustworthy. Let the collarbones widen without effort. Let the arms be heavy in exactly the way they are heavy hands. Notice their temperature, their weight, the quiet architecture of finger bones at rest. The palms might tingle or not. The wrists may pulse, or not. Either way is already complete. Return to the belly. Allow it to rise. Allow it to fall. If there is resistance, that resistance is also a sensation. Label nothing as a problem. Let everything be a visitor. Visitors do not stay. Your welcoming is not an invitation to linger. It is a refusal to struggle. Consider how the day has already changed into night, how words have already changed into quiet, how plans have already changed into unwinding. Change is the backdrop of suchness. Things are precisely themselves, and they are also passing. You do not have to hold. You do not have to hurry. You can watch the friendly procession of moments drift by like lanterns on water. Let the sense of me soften a notch. Instead of my back hurts, try hurt is present. Instead of I can't relax, try tightness is here. This small shift removes the extra weight of ownership and leaves only the lightness of noticing. Noticing is easy. Easy makes sleep possible. If an evaluation slips in, this is boring, this is working, this isn't working, meet the evaluation like any other sensation. Where do you feel boring in the body? Where do you feel working? Often it's just a flicker in the chest or the face. Let the flicker come and go. You are learning that experiences can appear without demanding a response. Widen awareness to include the entire field, breath moving, sounds appearing and fading, the stable support of the bed, the gentle heaviness of limbs, the light currents of thought at the edges. Hold the field loosely, as if you were cupping water without trying to keep it. Water is its own container. This moment holds itself without your grip. Offer 3 permissions to seal the practice. Permission for this moment to be as it is. Permission for you to be as you are. Permission for sleep to arrive when it arrives and in the way it arrives. Feel how each permission loosens something subtle. The forehead smooths, the breath slows, the space behind the heart widens. If you notice the impulse to adjust, check first whether the impulse is habit or need. If it is habit, let it pass. If it is need, answer it gently, then return to stillness. Suchness does not forbid movement. It ends the argument with the moment. Let your exhale lengthen a little, like a quiet sigh that doesn't need to be heard. Feel the small settling that follows. Rest there. Let the next breath come on its own. Between breaths, there is a natural pause where nothing is missing. This pause is the signature of suchness, complete, ordinary, enough. Now reduce even the inner words. If a phrase appears, let it be shorter. If shorter, let it be a hum. If a hum, let it be silence. Feel the body as a landscape at night. No commentary required. Hills of shoulders, valleys of the hips, rivers of breath moving through. Landscapes do not try to sleep. They simply are. In being, they grow quiet, in quiet. Everything that needs to rest, rests. Before the edges blur completely, offer a simple gratitude. Thank you to the bed for holding, to the breath for moving, to the moment for being exactly itself. Gratitude closes the circle without tightening it. Then allow even gratitude to dissolve. From here, there is nothing to do. The room is the room. The night is the night. The body is the body. The breath is the breath. Experience is exactly what it is, unforced and sufficient. In this ease, sleep does not have to be created. It notices there is room and steps forward on its own. If it comes now, welcome it. If it comes later, welcome the moments that carry you there. Either way, you are resting in the heart of suchness. This, just so. Imagine a single bell, resting in the quiet, waiting for nothing. In your mind's eye, see a gentle hand lift a small wooden mallet. It doesn't strike hard. It barely kisses the bronze one, clear note blooms, pure and round, and then expands in slow circles you can almost see. Let your next inhale be that moment of touch, simple and complete. Let your exhale be the sound traveling outward, softening as it goes, fading into the night. Feel the sound in your body rather than only hearing it in your head. On the inhale, a steady gathering, ribcage widening, the chest opening like the bell's hollow space welcoming air. On the exhale, a pleasant release, shoulders settling, belly softening, the whole body humming with a small kind vibration that fades on its own. If thoughts appear, they appear inside this sound, and like the sound, they thin and disappear without your help. Picture the bell ringing once more, just once. Your breath answers it. Inhale, the first bright instant. Exhale, the long silver echo. If you'd like, count lightly to feel the length of the ring. Inhale for 4, exhale for 6. And if counting turns into effort, let the numbers vanish and stay with the feeling of a note that knows how to fade. Let the face learn the bell's lesson. Soften the forehead on the exhale, as if the ring gently smooths it from the inside. Eyelids grow heavier with each receding wave. The jaw unhooks a little, the tongue resting broad at the floor of the mouth. You don't have to direct any of this. The body listens. The bell teaches, ease follows. Bring attention to the ears, not to strain but to allow. Notice how each sound in the room, distant hum, small creak, faint hush of air, behaves like a bell. It arises, sustains, and falls back into quiet. There is no need to chase or judge any of it. Let every small noise ring and resolve. Even silence has a tone, a soft presence that holds you rest in that presence between breaths, the way the bell rests between strikes. Imagine the bell's ripples as circles of warmth traveling through you. With the next exhale, feel a ring pass across the scalp and forehead, unknitting tiny muscles. Another ring moves through the eyes and cheeks, then the throat, widening a quiet hallway for air to move through. The next ring settles over the collarbones and shoulders, down the arms, through elbows, wrists, palms, and to the tips of the fingers. Each ring leaves relaxation where it passes, like a tide laying down smooth sand. Now, let a wider wave drift through the chest, across the back, down the spine. The upper back spreads, the middle back softens, the lower back releases a layer of bracing you didn't know was there. Feel the hips receive the next ring, pelvis heavy, glutes unclenching, thighs loosening. The wave continues down through knees and shins, ankles and feet, all the way to the toes. Let the toes be quiet bells too. Small, simple, done. If the mind brings you the day, let the bell greet it. See the thought arrive like a small echo, hear it ring once, and then watch it thin. No need to silence it. Echoes fade by design. You can even bow to each thought. Thank you and goodbye. The nervous system understands this rhythm and begins to imitate it. Arousal cresting and then settling, cresting and settling, until settling becomes the default. Try a tender phrase in rhythm with the breath, barely a whisper in the mind. On the inhale, clear. On the exhale, soft, clear, soft, clear, soft. The words are not important. The cadence is, if even these syllables feel like too much, let them dissolve into a felt sense. Bright in, gentle out. Let the heart area be a bell of its own. On the inhale, space. On the exhale, a warm tone that spreads a hand's breadth in all directions. If you want, pair the exhale with a simple kindness. May I rest. Feel the tone carry that wish through the ribs and into the arms, neck and back. After a few rounds, widen the wish, may we rest, offering your calm to anyone awake in the night. Generosity quiets the mind because it opens the hand that was gripping. Notice the small pause after the sound fades, the clean, empty moment before anything else begins. That is the pause at the bottom of your exhale. Do not hold it. Just let yourself feel it. It's the doorway the bell uses to return to silence. You can stand there for a beat, weightless, unhurried, and then let the next inhale arrive on its own, like a new note that needed no invitation. If discomfort shows up, a tight hip, an itch, a restless foot, treat it the way a temple keeper treats a visitor, with courtesy and simplicity. Wait half a breath and see if it fades like a passing ring. If it stays, make the smallest adjustment that answers it, then be still again. The fewer strikes, the clearer the resonance. Imagine now that your entire room is the inside of a bell. The walls and ceiling are kind, receptive metal. The mattress is a steady base. Your breath is the soft mallet touching once, then once again. Feel how the room seems to breathe with you, expanding on the inhale, settling on the exhale. You are not separate from this instrument. You are inside its gentleness, held by the very sound you are making. Bring your attention to the hands as if they were listening devices. With each exhale, a barely there vibration reaches the palms, and the palms answer by getting heavier, warmer fingers relax at their own pace. If a finger wants to twitch or curl, let it. The bell does not insist that the echo be straight. It only allows. Let your awareness explore the breath like a musician exploring tone. Notice the attack, the beginning of the inhale, the sustain, the middle, the release, the exhale, and the rest, the pause. None of these parts need to be long or impressive. They only need to be noticed. Noticing refines the sound until the sound refines the mind. If the impulse to measure time appears, how long have I been here? When will I fall asleep? Greet that impulse with one clear note and an extra long exhale. Time keeps itself. Bells don't hurry to finish ringing. They simply ring and stop. Trust that your body will stop ringing into wakefulness when it is ready, and that readiness grows with every gentle breath. Let the breath become even quieter now, like a bell struck with soft cloth instead of wood. The note is more felt than heard. The inhale does just enough. The exhale lengthens a little, then a little more, without force. Imagine you could rest your head on the exhale as if it were a cushion, sinking into it as it fades. At the very end, there is that lovely emptiness again, the room within the bell where nothing is required. Picture a lantern somewhere nearby, steady, not bright, casting a circle of warm light over smooth wooden floorboards. The bell sits there, peaceful between rings. Let your body be that lantern-lit floor, wide, supportive, uncomplicated. Let your mind be the air around the bell, still, ready to receive whatever comes, equally ready to receive nothing. If dreams begin to drift at the edges, half-formed images, soft fragments of words, let them. They are the overtones of the bell, harmless and natural. You do not need to make sense of them. Overtones don't ask to be understood. They ask to be allowed. When allowed, they blend into the richness of the night and carry you farther from the realm of effort. Before you slip under, offer one last ring of kindness on the breath. Inhale, a gathering. Exhale, may I be peaceful, and perhaps once more for anyone who needs it. Inhale, a gathering. Exhale, may all be peaceful. Then set even the wish down. The bell returns to its quiet shape. Your breath becomes so gentle, it's almost not there, like a note too soft to hear, but easy to feel. From here, let everything complete itself. The next inhale arrives without being called. The next exhale dissolves without being dismissed. The space between them opens like a small gate you walk through without lifting a foot. The bell rests, the room rests, your body rests. What remains after the last faint echo is the easiest thing of all. Silence holding you while sleep comes closer than sound. Imagine the widest sky you can, so wide it has no edges. Not a picture in your head, but a felt vastness behind your eyes, above your scalp, through the space of your chest. Let yourself be that sky. There is room for everything here. Room for quiet, room for the small winds of thought, room for a passing cloud that looks like a memory room for a cloud shaped like tomorrow. They come, they change, they move on. The sky remains. Begin with the simplest anchor, the breath. Inhale, a soft rising, like a pale cloud lifting at dawn. Exhale, a gentle settling, like mist thinning over a field. You don't have to direct anything. You're the sky. The weather takes care of itself. Thoughts are weather. Feel that truth and notice the relief. You were never meant to manage the clouds. When a thought appears, see it form the way a wisp gathers from nothing. Perhaps it's a picture, a face, a room, a page. Perhaps it's a sentence. Did I? What if? I should. Perhaps it's not words or pictures at all, but a mood, a slight tightening, a tilt in the chest. Name it softly, so softly that naming is barely more than a breath. Image, word, feeling. Then look again. Clouds labeled gently don't stick. They float. Notice how every thought has edges that blur if you look with kindness. That replay of a conversation. Watch its first frame, then the next. The edges soften, the sound fades, the scene thins like fog in sunlight. No effort needed, only seeing. Seeing is sunlight. Thoughts prefer either attention laced with grasping or the force of resistance. They starve on gentle curiosity. Let the forehead smooth from the inside. Let the space around the eyes become wide. If the gaze behind your closed lids wants to settle far away, let it go far. A far gaze invites a far mind. With the next exhale, imagine your awareness opening like a camera lens widening from zoom to panorama. The details shrink to what they've always been, little shapes moving across a huge sky. Bring a friendly rhythm to noticing. Inhale, open, exhale, allow, open, allow. If a storm system rolls in, a swirl of planning, a burst of restlessness, know that storms are weather, not failure. The sky does not argue with lightning. It grants it space to flash and then watches it fade into ordinary rain. Your mind can do the same. Grant the surge its space and watch it complete its own arc. Try the gentlest practice of not following. A thought arrives with an invitation. Come with me. You feel the tug forward, smile inwardly and rest back. Feel the bed meet your weight. Let the next exhale be a soft no, thank you, offered without words. The thought continues on its track, discovering that it can travel without a passenger. It weakens, then dissolves. You remain, vast, calm, unchanged. Listen to sounds the way you watch thoughts. A distant hum appears, lingers, fades. A soft creak, here, then gone. Silence swells, then reveals a new faint sound. None of it asks for verdicts. Thoughts are the same. They do not require verdicts to end. Endings are built into them. Find the beginning, feel the middle. Witness the end. You are learning to trust the endings. Let the body help. Feel the contact points where you meet the bed. Head, shoulders, back, hips, legs, heels. With each exhale, those points grow warmer, heavier, simpler. As the body settles, the sky widens. Settling is your permission slip to stop negotiating with every cloud. You can watch. You can rest. If an anxious thought arrives, what if I don't sleep? Watch it like a small dark puff. Name it. Worry. Then look directly at its edges. Notice how the edges flicker. Feel how your next exhale widens the sky around it. Worry does not like wide skies. It feeds on narrow tunnels. Let the tunnel become open air. The puff thins. Perhaps it returns. That's fine. Each return is weaker in a sky that does not close around it. If a planning thought arrives, lists, sequences, calendars, let it draw itself on the sky like lines of chalk on blue. Then let an invisible hand, your breath, erase one line with each exhale, not all at once. One line, then another, then another. By the time you've forgotten to finish erasing, the wind has finished for you. If a replay arrives, something you wish had gone differently, give it a place on the horizon, far, not near. Let it play at the speed of clouds, slow, silent, harmless. Feel the chest soften when the soundtrack drops away. Sense the small space between you and the image. That space is freedom. Where there is space, there is no need to fix. Where there is no need to fix, sleep has room to land. Try the lightest touch of noting. Thinking, thinking, thinking. Not as scolding, but as recognition. You are the sky saying hello to a cloud. Hello, cloud. Hello, thought. Notice how repetition loses interest. The cloud keeps its pace. You keep the sky. Bring attention to the breath again. Let the inhale be a quiet blue widening. Let the exhale stretch toward the horizon. If numbers soothe you, inhale for 4, Exhale for 6. If numbers feel like fences, let them fall away. Your lungs know the rhythm that says, we're safe. The long exhale is that rhythm's signature. It's how the sky tells the wind to ease. Now imagine weather maps across your body, above the brow, clear and open, over the eyes, thin cirrus strands, so light they don't cast shadow, across the cheeks and jaw, warm front moving through, muscles softening as pressure drops. The throat, a wide corridor for air, no turbulence chest and back, broad skies with scattered friendly clouds. Belly, a quiet bay that rises and falls with tide. Hips and legs, mountain ranges at rest beneath a generous sky. Nothing urgent on the radar. Conditions calm, visibility unlimited. When a heavy thought storm gathers, self-judgment, old stories, let it be a summer thunderhead seen from miles away. You can appreciate its shape without standing in the rain. If a drop reaches you, let it be one drop. Feel it land, cool, then gone. Storms move on when the ground doesn't chase the sky. If restlessness visits the body, watch it as wind. Where does the wind move first? Toes, calves, fingers. Let the wind flutter the grass of your muscles without pulling you to stand. Winds die down on their own. Your stillness is not opposition, it's patience. Now widen attention to include the space behind thoughts, like listening for the quiet between notes. Feel that quiet as a soft blue that is everywhere at once. Every time you notice space, you are the sky remembering itself. Thoughts pass more easily when the sky remembers. Offer a simple mantra that loves wide spaces. On the inhale, vast. On the exhale, at ease. Vast, at ease. If even this is too much, dissolve the words into the feeling they point to, an easy wideness that doesn't need guarding. Consider that you don't make thoughts, you receive them, like weather rolling over a landscape. Some nights the weather is active, and that's okay. Landscapes don't lose their nature when the wind picks up. You don't lose your nature when the mind swirls. Your nature is the sky, capable of including, incapable of being harmed by what it includes. If the impulse to fight a thought arises, notice that the fight is also a thought, a darker cloud shaped like a fist. Name it quietly, resistance. Then place it beside the original cloud, two shapes in a big sky. Watch what happens when neither is fed. They drift toward each other, then spread, then thin. Your non-participation is the sunlight that gently unravels them. If the mind asks for a job, give it the kindest job in the universe. Count 10 clouds, not real clouds, moments of noticing. 1. A thought appears. 2. A breath lengthens. 3. The shoulder settles. 4. A sound fades. 5. Silence. 6. Another thought. 7. The sky widens. 8. Warmth in the hands. 9. The pause after the exhale. 10. Forgetting to count. Forgetting is success here. When you remember again, start from 1. Or don't. The sky does not keep score. Bring awareness to the hands and feet, far corners of your weather map. Let them become heavier, like stones resting on soft earth. Heavy hands and heavy feet anchor the sky to the ground. Anchors make wind harmless. With each exhale, increase heaviness by one small degree. After a few breaths, notice. Thoughts still pass, but their shadows don't reach the ground. Let the outline of your body blur into the room by a hair's breadth, as if your skin were made of very fine mesh and the night air were friendly and close. This is not dissolving, it's belonging. Belonging reduces the mind's need to patrol. Fewer patrols, fewer clouds. If a bright idea pops up, sparkling, insistent, bow to it. Thank you for arriving. Imagine tying it to a slow balloon and letting it lift toward the high blue. You can retrieve it in the morning from the branches of a tree. You'll remember without trying. Sleep is easier when tomorrow's gifts are allowed to wait on gentle branches. Sometimes a thought will pretend to be a fact. I'm terrible at sleeping. I always overthink. Hear these as weather forecasts from a radio left on in a faraway house. You can't turn the radio off, but you don't have to live inside those rooms. Notice the distance, hear the faintness, and let the next exhale carry you even farther across a bright field. Return to the breath once more as a bell that keeps time. Inhale opens. Exhale smooths. At the bottom, that sweet pause, the clearest blue if you like, linger there for half a heartbeat without holding. It's where clouds forget they were clouds. Now let attention become thin and wide, like a silk scarf stretched across the whole sky. The scarf doesn't grasp the clouds, it simply touches everything lightly. Thoughts that needed your fingers to stay in place slip free when the touch is light. As they slip, some become so faint you can't tell whether they are thoughts or the memory of thoughts. Good. Faintness is the mind's version of nightfall. Offer 3 mercies before the edges blur. Mercy for the clouds that came. Mercy for the urge to chase them. Mercy for the part of you that tried to control the weather. Feel how mercy widens the sky another notch. Wideness is sleep's favorite climate. If time asks to be checked, meet that urge the way you meet any cloud. Urge, you say kindly, and let it go by. The sky doesn't own clocks. It owns light and dark, and the relief of both. From here, do even less. Let the inhale be small and sufficient. Let the exhale be long enough to lower you a fraction deeper. Let the pause between them be a door that opens without hinges. Thoughts, if they still arise, are like faint wisps you could pass your hand through. You don't need to. They pass through themselves. If a last cluster appears, half dream, half thought, don't resolve it. Let it drift like distant weather over mountains. Somewhere, perhaps, rain is falling. Here, the sky is clear enough. Clear enough is enough. And now, let even the sky image soften until it is only feeling. Spacious, quiet, held. Breath moves, body rests. The night takes you the way a wide sky takes a single small cloud, effortlessly, gently, completely, until cloud becomes sky again and everything is simply open. And in that openness, sleep arrives like blue deepening to velvet without anyone needing to watch. Place a gentle hand over your heart, or if that's not comfortable, simply bring your attention there as if your awareness were a warm palm. Feel the quiet movement beneath, subtle, steady, faithful. Let your breath meet that movement. Inhale as though you're gathering a little warmth. Exhale as though you're sharing it with the rest of your body. There is nothing to perform. Loving kindness is not a feeling you must manufacture. It is an intention you set down like a soft blanket. Begin with yourself, because the heart listens most easily when you start nearby. Silently whisper, at a pace that matches your breath. May I be safe, may I be peaceful, may I rest. Let the words be feather light. If they feel too wordy, shorten them until they fit. Safe, peaceful, rest. Inhale, a quiet gathering of care. Exhale, a quiet release of care through the chest, the shoulders, the belly. If a part of you resists, "I don't deserve this," or "it won't work," meet that voice with the same kindness. May you be safe. May you be peaceful. May you rest. Include the resistance as you would a tired friend. Let your face soften to hear these phrases better. Smooth the space between the eyebrows from the inside. Let the jaw unhook. Let the eyes grow heavy in their sockets, the tongue resting broad and heavy. With each exhale, feel warmth spreading from the center of the chest in slow circles, like ripples in warm tea. The ripples move outward, to the ribs, to the collarbones, to the arms, and wherever they pass, something loosens by a notch you might not have noticed until now. If you like, try your phrases in the gentlest rhythm. Inhale, "May I be safe." Exhale, "May I be peaceful." Inhale, "May I rest." Exhale, "I release." Or choose your own language. Plain, personal, sincere loving kindness is a universal shape that fits many words. The shape is what matters, care that asks for nothing in return, including the return of sleep. When there is no pressure to feel a certain way, the heart often opens on its own, like a window catching an easy breeze. Bring attention to places that have carried you through the day. Thank your feet for the miles they walked or the standing they did. May you be peaceful. Feel the weight in the heels, the gentleness in the arches, the soft surrender of the toes. Thank your legs for their steadiness. May you rest. Notice the calves lengthening into the bed, the thighs broadening, the knees settling in exactly their positions. Thank your hips and low back for bearing your burdens, named and unnamed. Safe, peaceful, rest. The lower spine lets go of a thread of bracing. The pelvis settles like a bowl set down carefully on a cushioned surface. Now thank the belly, the quiet center where breath shows itself most clearly. May you be soft. May you be at ease. Let the belly rise without supervision and fall without regret. If tension lingers, place a breath there as if placing a warm cloth over a sore place. You are not demanding that it change. You are offering companionship. Often, companionship is what allows change to begin. Thank the chest, the heart space. You have felt so much today. May you be peaceful. Imagine a warm light the size of a small stone glowing there. With each inhale, it glows a little brighter, not dazzling, just steady. With each exhale, its warmth spreads a hand's breadth in every direction. The spreading is very slow. There is no rush. Warmth knows where to go. The shoulders hear it. The throat hears it. The upper back hears it. Relaxation is a language. You are speaking it kindly. Thank your hands, the messengers of your intentions. May you rest. Feel their quiet weight, their comfortable temperature, the soft curve of each finger where it lies. Imagine the phrases flowing down the arms like gentle water. The wrists loosen. The palms grow heavy and warm, as if cupping that small glowing stone. The fingers carry the last of the day out through the tips and into the night, where it disperses. Nothing is wasted. Nothing needs to be solved. If the mind offers a worry, give it a seat by the hearth of the heart rather than the driver's seat. Say inwardly, I hear you. May you be safe. May you be peaceful. Rest with me. You aren't negotiating, you are reassuring. Worries, like small animals, often quiet down when they are warm and near, rather than chased into the dark. When you're ready, let loving kindness look outward. Bring to mind someone easy to love, perhaps a friend, a teacher, a gentle presence, a companion animal, someone who brings a softening to your chest without effort. See their face loosely, or simply feel their presence without seeing. Whisper, timing the words to your breath. May you be safe. May you be peaceful. May you rest. On the inhale, gather warmth. On the exhale, offer it to them like a shawl. If the image blurs or disappears, keep offering. Caring does not require perfect pictures. Let the circle widen to include someone neutral, perhaps a neighbor you barely know, a clerk you saw once, someone whose life touches yours lightly. May you be safe. May you be peaceful. May you rest. Notice how your body feels as you extend this blessing to a person without a strong story attached. Often the heart enjoys this ease, like water moving around a smooth stone. If it feels workable, include someone who has been difficult, not to fix them, not to excuse harm, but to free your own heart from the tightness of holding. Offer them the simplest version, the one you gave yourself. May you be safe. May you be peaceful. May you rest. If this brings up heat or resistance, move closer to yourself again and give the blessing to the resistance. May you be safe. May you be peaceful. May you rest. The practice is never about forcing, it is about including. Inclusion is the heart's way of relaxing its fist. Allow your field of care to widen by degrees. The people in your home, the people on your street, the sleeping city, the travelers on night roads, the ones awake with worry, the nurses and drivers and bakers and parents, the newborns and the elders, the animals dozing in hidden places, the trees breathing out what you breathe in. May we be safe. May we be peaceful. May we rest. Feel the exhale carry this wish outward like a soft tide. Feel the inhale bring back the assurance that you too are included. If your chest feels tight when you say we, let the next handful of breaths be only for you again. May I be safe. May I be peaceful. May I rest. Loving kindness is not a test you pass by giving away more than you have. It is an oxygen mask of the heart, yours first, then the world, in a rhythm that feels sustainable. The body recognizes sensible compassion and softens to receive it. Try a different phrasing if the first feels distant. May I be kind to myself. May I forgive myself for being human. May I sleep in safety tonight. Or even simpler, kindness in, kindness out. Inhale. Kindness enters through the nose, down the throat, into the chest. Exhale. Kindness flows down the arms and legs, through the palms and the soles, and into the room. The room becomes a field of kindness that gives back what you give out. You are breathing in your own generosity. If your mind brings up old moments, things said, things unsaid, offer them a small bow. May you be released. Notice how the body responds to that phrase. The shoulders drop a fraction, the breath lengthens by one beat, the jaw loosens. Sleep often comes when the ledger closes for the day. Loving kindness is how you close the book gently without tearing the page. Let the phrases ride on the rhythm of the breath until the rhythm carries them without effort. If repetition grows heavy, let it thin. You can whisper just one word on the exhale, peaceful, and let the inhale be silence or drop words entirely and sense the feeling tone they pointed to. Warm, open, safe. That feeling tone is a balm the body knows how to absorb. Imagine now a small circle of light around your bed, the size of your body plus a little more. Within this circle, every part of you is welcome. sleepy parts, restless parts, wise parts, worried parts. Place the blessing inside the circle like a low lantern. May all that is here be held in kindness. The circle does not need to be bright, it needs to be steady. Steadiness is the opposite of agitation. Steadiness is what helps eyelids grow heavy and thoughts grow quiet. Bring attention to the throat and the space behind the heart. On the inhale, space. On the exhale, a gentle warmth sliding through those spaces like light through a doorway. If unkind self-talk appears, meet it with the softest counterweight. Sweetheart, you might say to yourself, not as sentimentality, but as respect for a tired being. Rest. Saying sweetheart to yourself can feel strange. It is also a reminder that the one who needs care is here, not somewhere else. You are practicing being on your own side. Thank the day for trying. May the day rest. Thank the night for holding. May the night rest. Thank your senses for all they've carried. Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin. Safe, peaceful, rest. Let each sense draw back like petals in the evening, not closed against the world, just relaxed into the safety of darkness. If you wake later in the night, loving kindness is a gentle door you can always find in the dark. Reach for the simplest phrase without turning on any inner lights. May I rest? Or match it to a count. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 6 with rest stretched softly across the exhale like a scarf. The body remembers when you teach it slowly. You do not have to convince it every time. Often you only need to remind it. Let attention become wide and light now, like a silk sheet spread over everything. The bed, the breath, the sounds in the room, the quiet in the chest. Under that sheet, the heart continues its steady work. Offer it one last kindness for the day. Thank you. Gratitude is a form of metta that requires no vocabulary. It's the warmth that remains after the words dissolve. And now, let the phrases become fewer until they're only shapes of thought, then only feeling, then possibly nothing at all. The warmth remains without needing a name. The breath goes on gathering and giving, gathering and giving. The body loosens in places you weren't watching, because kindness works in the background when you stop supervising it. If a final thought rises about sleep, about morning, wrap it in the same blessing and set it gently on the shore. The tide of breath will take it. From here, do less. Let the next exhale be long enough to lower you by a small degree you can feel. Let the small pause at the bottom open like a quiet doorway where nothing is missing. Step through without moving. You are safe. You are peaceful. You are allowed to rest. The room agrees. The night agrees. The heart agrees in its steady, wordless way. And as the glow in the chest becomes a soft background and the mind's edges blur, loving kindness continues without you needing to carry it, holding you the way warm water holds a floating body until sleep gathers you completely, kind as a promise kept. Feel the simple presence of the room, and remember, even this quiet is shared. The air around you is not empty. It is the soft meeting place of many lives. With the next inhale, receive what the trees have offered. With the next exhale, give back what the trees will gladly take. Breath is a bridge, cross it slowly. You are never breathing alone. Notice the weave of the blanket, the weight that holds you. Imagine the hands that spun the thread, the hands that guided the loom, the hands that folded and shipped and unpacked. Unknown people whose small actions became the warmth touching your skin. Let gratitude gather without effort. Thank you. Feel how gratitude spreads like a quiet light along the fibers, and the body loosens by one gentle notch. Sense the bed beneath you, the wood that was once a tree, the metal mined from deep earth, the cotton grown in fields that drank rain and sunlight. Everything that supports you tonight is a chorus of elements and people and time. You are not separate from their care. Rest inside this wider cradle. Let your awareness settle on the breath again. Inhale, the gift of leaves and oceans. Exhale, your gift returned. If you like, pair the breath with a soft phrase. On the inhale, with everything. On the exhale, I rest. With everything, I rest. The phrase is not a spell, it is a remembering. Each repetition shows the nervous system a larger home. Bring attention to sound. Hear the nearest sound and the farthest sound you can detect. Somewhere, a kettle cools, a distant car passes, a night bird shifts on its branch, wind combs through leaves. These sounds are threads that stitch your room to the world. Let yourself be sewn to the night by listening. No effort, only belonging. Imagine the water in your body, rivers of blood, a lake in the belly, a spring behind the sternum that rises and falls with breath. All this water was cloud and rain and stream and sea, wandering the world, long before tonight and long after. You are a temporary harbour for an ancient traveller. Whisper. Welcome. Water relaxes when welcomed. Bring awareness to your hands. Feel their weight, their temperature, the quiet pulse at the wrists. Think of all the hands that touched your life today, even without skin. Hands that baked bread you ate, hands that kept lights working, hands that drove buses and stacked shelves, hands that typed code and taught children and cleaned floors. Let your palms grow warm as if holding all those hands for one moment. May we rest. Notice how your shoulders drop a fraction at the kindness of that wish. If loneliness arrives, do not argue with it. Offer it a place beside you, the way you'd offer a tired traveller a chair. Say inwardly, "You can sit with me." Then show loneliness the door you just found. The door of breath shared with trees. The door of sound shared with night animals. The door of water shared with rivers and clouds. Let loneliness look. It softens in the presence of evidence. Think of your lineage, not only family, but the long line of lives that made your life possible. The ones who cultivated grain, who discovered fire, who tended children through illnesses, who learned to weave, to build, to heal, to sing. Their efforts ripple forward, arriving as your pillow, your roof, the lullaby of the city's far hum. You carry them, and they lift you. If a single word helps, let it be carried. Inhale, carried. Exhale, carried. Let the face soften, eyelids heavy, jaw unhooked. Picture all the faces now at rest across time zones. The sleeper in a mountain village, the nurse dozing between rounds, the neighbour who turned out a lamp, the friend you haven't spoken to in years, a child sprawled sideways across a bed, a cat in a window. They are not here, and yet the fact of their resting changes the night you share. The world sighs in shifts. Your breath is one section of a global choir. Bring attention to your feet. Feel the heels anchored, the arches supported, the toes released. Below you, floors, beams, foundations. Beneath that, earth layered with roots and rock, water moving in dark channels, the slow patience of soil. The planet is an enormous palm, and you are in it. Let your feet agree to be held. Settle again into the chest, the heart's steady work. On the inhale, imagine the tiny electrical wave that whispers, beat. On the exhale, imagine that whisper radiating out like a soft glow, meeting other glows, the hearts of people who love you, of people you love, of people you haven't met, of animals curled in nests, of trees pulsing sugar through phloem, of tides rising to the moon's pull. This is not fantasy. It is metaphor pointing to a truth. Nothing lives alone. Feel how that truth loosens the space between your ribs. If a worry about tomorrow surfaces, offer it a wider frame. Tomorrow's tasks were grown by many hands as well. They won't be carried by you alone. Picture the network of support that will meet you. Colleagues, tools, streets, devices, public utilities, small kindnesses from strangers. Even your future effort will be a collaboration with gravity, balance, breath. The body hears this and softens its grip. Let your awareness walk through your room as if tracing a web, pillow to cheek, cheek to breath, breath to trees, trees to soil, soil to rain, rain to rivers, rivers to oceans, oceans to clouds, clouds to roof, roof to pillow again. Slow circles. Each circle lowers you by one quiet degree. Circles always return you to here. Bring a hand, if you like, to the belly. Feel it rise and fall. Whisper, we breathe. Not as a concept, but as a simple fact. Your lungs and the green lungs of the world practicing together. On the exhale, allow the belly to soften into the hand. The hand doesn't push or hold. It listens. Listening is how bodies remember their place in the whole. Imagine threads of care connecting you outward. One to the person who taught you something you still use. One to the person who smiled at you today. One to someone who made a mistake that taught you gentleness. One to someone you've never met whose work keeps your water clean or your food safe. These threads are invisible but not imaginary. Name them thank you if names help. With each exhale, they slacken a little. With each inhale, they glisten. If you sense tightness anywhere, the throat, the shoulders, the belly, picture a small flock of birds lifting from that place on the exhale, circling once above you and settling in the branches of a nearby tree. They are not gone. They are simply not crowding the nest. You have room to rest, and those birds belong to the night, which belongs to you. Let the story of me soften its edges until it includes we. Not a heavy duty, not a grand mission, simply the feeling of being a thread in a good cloth holds better than rope. Rope pulls, cloth embraces. Feel the embrace spread along your back, across the shoulder blades, down the sides of the ribs. Small muscles stop bracing when they realize the fabric will not tear. Bring your attention to smell and taste, so subtle at night. Maybe a hint of soap on the pillow, the trace of toothpaste, the neutral sweetness of the air. These too are gifts from elsewhere. Recognize the quiet exchanges and let your senses bow and withdraw, like musicians laying down their instruments after a long, beautiful piece. Picture the night from above, the way satellites see it. Cities glowing softly, highways like threads of light, pockets of deep darkness over fields and forests. The moon's reflection on rivers somewhere, a storm blooms. Somewhere, the sky is clear. Somewhere, a window glows in a farmhouse where someone reads. Somewhere, a street lamp flickers and a moth taps at it like a heartbeat. All of it continues, and none of it asks you to keep it going. You are allowed to sleep inside a world that keeps watch. If thoughts keep assembling, offer them a wider place to disperse. Imagine the ceiling dissolving into the soft dark of the night sky. Not a bright, glittering dome, just the suggestion of infinite space. Place your thoughts there like lanterns on quiet water. They drift, some fade, some float beyond your interest. You don't need to blow them out. Let the breath lengthen a little on the exhale, just enough to tell the body, held. Notice the small pause at the bottom where nothing is missing. That pause is the feeling of being part of something larger. It is safe to linger there for a beat. Inhale arrives on its own, like help you didn't have to ask for. Think of the small communities inside you, cells repairing, neurons whispering, microbes tending the gut garden, tissues knitting tiny tears. They collaborate without you composing the score. Your job is only to provide quiet. With each exhale, give them darkness and stillness, the way you dim a room for sleeping children. They will do the rest. If someone comes to mind who is also awake right now, a friend in another time zone, a stranger in a hospital corridor, a new parent walking the floor, send them a breath. May you be held. You don't have to feel anything dramatic. A simple wish is enough. Wishing well is a way of remembering that goodness moves between us, even when we can't see it. Return to the hands and let them grow heavier, warmer. Return to the feet and let them sink by a fraction more. Return to the jaw and let it unhinge a little. Return to the eyes and let them rest deeper in their sockets. Repeating these small permissions is a way of saying, the net is strong, you can lean. Now widen attention to hold the whole field. Body, bed, breath, room, night, world. Hold it lightly, like a wide bowl you set down on a stable table gravity takes over. You don't have to keep holding. The bowl will not tip. The night will not drop you. If the mind asks for words, give it the lightest of mantras, one that breathes with the truth of interbeing. On the inhale, together. On the exhale, at ease, together, at ease. Let the words grow thinner until they are only the feeling they name. Let the feeling become so quiet it doesn't need attention to continue. Before the edges blur, offer 3 bows in your heart. 1 to the earth that holds you, 1 to the lives that support you, 1 to your own tired being that made it here. Then set even the gratitude down like a cup on the nightstand. Nothing else to carry. From here, let the whole world breathe you. Inhale arrives as if the trees were exhaling. Exhale leaves as if the ocean were pulling gently at the shore. The pause between them opens like a door that leads to a room where many have rested before you, and many will rest after you. Step in without moving, the door remains open, the net remains strong, the night holds its watch, and you, thread among threads, wave among waves, are free to drift into the wide, shared quiet where sleep gathers all things, together at ease. Imagine a wide lake at night. The water is dark glass, and a soft fog drifts just above the surface. You are in a small, steady boat. The oars rest across your lap. The boat knows how to float without your help. Moonlight, or something like it, lays a pale path across the water. Everything is quiet. Then, bump, a dull thud against the side of your boat. The first reaction is instant. Muscles brace, the chest tightens, a story leaps up. Who did that? Why? Again. Feel that reflex arise, honest and fast. Notice where it lands in your body. The jaw sets, the shoulders creep up, the belly holds. You don't have to fight the reaction. You only need to see it. Seeing is the first loosening. Let the breath lengthen on the exhale, the way a ripple widens after a drop touches the surface. With the next long out breath, turn your attention toward the bump. Through the mist, a shape slides into view, another little boat. You prepare to speak, to correct, to defend, and then you see it clearly. No one is inside an empty boat, moving on currents and wind, bumping because boats bump sometimes. Notice how that realization travels through you. The jaw eases a notch, the chest softens, the belly lets go a little. The mind whispers, "Oh." Let the "oh" spread. In your own life, there were bumps today. A hurried tone, a message left unanswered, a memory of a mistake, a plan that didn't hold. The first story is someone's fault. Yours, theirs, the world's tonight. Let each bump become an empty boat. Conditions, not enemies. Tide and wind, not malice. Say it softly in rhythm with your breath. Inhale, conditions. Exhale, not enemies. Conditions, not enemies. Return to your body. Feel where the habit of blame lives. Perhaps a tight band around the forehead. Perhaps a pinch behind the eyes. Perhaps a heat in the throat or a knot in the belly. Place one breath directly there, like laying a warm cloth over something that hurts. You are not telling the sensation to leave, you're offering it room. Often, when blame steps out, the hurt shows itself, and hurt releases more easily than anger. Let the shoulders lower a few millimeters. The collarbones widen the way doors open that were never truly locked. The upper back spreads. The mid-back follows. The lower back stops pretending it has to hold the whole day upright. You are in a boat that floats. Gravity is doing the work. You do not need to grip the oars. Bring attention to the face. Smooth the space between the eyebrows from the inside. Let the eyelids be heavy. Let the tongue rest broad at the floor of the mouth. If a thought tries to restart the story, but they should have, I should have, bow to it and place it in a small skiff in your mind. Untie the rope. Watch it drift into the fog of the lake. It doesn't sink, it moves away. If it returns, you can set it adrift again. The lake is patient. Now remember a specific bump. Choose a small one. Tonight is for gentle practice. See it for what it was, a set of conditions converging. The other person's tiredness, your hunger, the clock, the weather, the tools that failed, the old patterns that visit all humans. Lay these conditions out like oars across the seat. Count them, not to keep score, but to witness complexity. Notice how counting conditions dissolves the single sharp point of blame into something wider and softer. Wideness makes it easier to rest. Feel the breath as a tide moving under the boat. On the inhale, the boat rises. On the exhale, it settles. The water does not ask you to push. Sleep is like this water. It comes when the boat is light, lighter, because guilt and accusation are set down for the night. You can set them down. Not forever, not in denial, but for now. Whisper on the exhale. For now, I set it down. Each repetition removes a small weight. Small weights add up. If blame turns inward, I should have known better. See that boat too is empty. It was launched by old voices, by training that believed harshness produces safety. You can thank those voices for trying to protect you and then let their boat drift. On the inhale, thank you. On the exhale, you may rest. You do not need to be punished to sleep. You need to be forgiven. Offer the first thread of forgiveness to yourself, not as a verdict, but as a posture. Shoulders low, breath long, hands warm. Let's make a practice of untying knots. Find one knot of tension in the body, maybe in the throat, maybe behind the heart. Inhale as if you're bringing a little warmth to that knot. Exhale as if you are gently loosening the loop nearest your fingers. Not yanking, not forcing, just enough to feel the knot give by a hair's breadth. Then again. Inhale warmth. Exhale loosening. The knot is a story. Stories soften when met consistently with kindness. Imagine now that each person who bumped you today was steering an empty boat they didn't realize had no oars. See the person briefly, then let the person dissolve, leaving only boat and current. This is not to excuse harm. It is to reduce the extra pain of taking everything personally. Your nervous system sleeps better when it is not under personal attack from the ordinary movements of life. Bring attention to sound. Hear the nearest sound, a hush of air, a fabric's small shift. Hear the farthest sound, a distant car, the world breathing. Let every sound be an oar dipping once and lifting, leaving circles that widen and fade without your intervention. If a thought arrives dressed as a sound, loud inside, listen to its full arc, beginning, middle, end. Endings are sleep's allies. They teach the body that completion is possible. Return to the heart. Feel the steady beat. On the inhale, imagine the word soften. On the exhale, imagine the phrase no one to fight. Soften, no one to fight. If that feels too large, try something smaller. Inhale, soft. Exhale, safe. The body does not need arguments, it needs signals. A long exhale is a strong signal. So is the decision to put down imaginary weapons. If an old injury rises, a memory that still stings, hold it the way you would hold a child who just bumped their head on the edge of the table. You don't need to explain the table. You offer presence, a hand at the back. A long exhale they can mirror. You can place the memory in your lap, feel its weight, and breathe after a few breaths. Let it climb into a little boat. Tie to the stern a small flag that says, "I will tend you in daylight." Then nudge it into the lake. Watch it drift into the fog where sleep keeps the quietest watch. Scan through the body again, slowly, as if you were checking the moorings of a dock. Secure, easy, head heavy, eyes deep in their sockets, jaw unhooked, throat spacious, shoulders low, chest wide, belly free to rise and fall, hips broad and supported, legs long, calves unclutched, ankles loose, feet released. Each confirmation is a rope laid gently down. If you feel the impulse to rehearse a conversation, what you'll say, what they'll say, offer the rehearsal a seat at the shore. The lake can hold reflections without you rowing back and forth across it all night. Tell the rehearsal, "I meet you tomorrow with a rested mind." This is not avoidance, it is sequence. Problems shrink to their proper size when addressed by rested minds. Consider the physics of an empty boat: mass, momentum, angle of approach. A boat drifts where the wind grazes the water, where currents curl around invisible shapes under the surface. In the same way, people drift across one another's paths. Your bump with them says little about your worth or their intention, and much about timing and tide. Let timing and tide become a small smile in the chest. Smiles loosen things. If self-defense rises anyway, but if I don't stay vigilant, I'll be hurt. Thank vigilance for its service and give it a night off with precise instructions. If true danger arrives, you will wake me. Until then, rest. The nervous system relaxes when given a clear job description that includes permission to sleep. Bring to mind someone you care about who has also been bumped today. Offer them the gift you are offering yourself. Inhale, gather a little warmth. Exhale, send it across the water. May you be free from the weight of blame. May you be held by conditions that are kind. May you rest. Imagining their boat settling steadies yours. Let your breath become like the lake's own rhythm. You may lightly count. Inhale for 4, exhale for 6. If counting helps, keep it. If it becomes a task, let it float away like a twig. The point is the feeling of being carried. Carried people do not row. Rowing people do not sleep. Carried people sleep. If the day tries one last time to board your boat, a flash of email, a face at the edge of the fog, offer it the softest phrases. Not now. Tomorrow. I trust the tide. Then show it the spare oar and point toward the shoreline. It can find its way there without you tonight. Imagine now that fog thins a little and you see many small boats on this lake. Some carry people dozing. Some are empty and drifting. Some are tied to posts, bumping lightly and rhythmically. The sound of these gentle taps becomes part of the lullaby of the night. No longer jarring, only regular, soothing. You are one among many. The bumps have nothing personal to say. They are simply part of the lake speaking its language. Bring your attention to the small pause at the bottom of the exhale. Do not hold it. Simply notice. That is the moment when the boat is most still, when water and wood agree, when everything is quiet, before the next small rise. Rest there for a breath or two. It's a doorway that opens without hinges. If a last tightness remains, especially in the chest or throat, pair the exhale with a gentle sound in the back of the mouth, a quiet ha felt more than heard. Let that sound be the hushing of the lake against the hull. Hush. The body understands hush. It lowers itself a little more each time. Offer yourself 3 permissions. Permission to let other people's currents be their currents. Permission to let your own current be your own. Permission to stop steering for a while. Feel the relief walk through your muscles. The oars grow heavier in a good way, like tools set down after honest work. Now loosen the edges of attention until you're aware of everything and nothing in particular. Breath, warmth, weight, occasional sounds, immense quiet. The mind dims like a lantern turned low. Thoughts, if they arise, are soft as far buoys. They mark a horizon you do not need to sail to. Before you go, make a small offering to the lake. Lay one last thought of blame toward yourself, toward another, toward the day. On a leaf place, the leaf on the water with the next exhale. Watch it begin its slow glide into the dark. You do not follow. You rest. The boat rocks once, very gently, as if the whole lake were nodding yes. The air is kind. The night is attentive. The water holds up everything that rests on it without preference. Your breath rises and falls like that. Indiscriminate kindness. Let yourself match it. Rising, falling, rising, falling. Each fall a little deeper until the lake becomes the bed. The boat becomes your body. The fog becomes sleep itself. No enemies in sight. Only conditions that carry you, empty boats drifting harmlessly by. And you, released into the simplest safety. Nothing to fix, no one to fight. The long, quiet tide of rest coming in. Let the room be quiet, and let yourself be quiet inside it. Somewhere in that quiet, a small question appears, light as a feather placed in the open palm of your mind. What is this? Not a puzzle to solve, not a riddle to conquer, just a gentle invitation to look softly at whatever is here, exactly as it is. Let the question be asked the way a bell is rung once, clear, simple, and then allowed to fade. Begin with the breath. Feel the next inhale arrive on its own, cool at the nostrils, rounding the ribs, touching the belly. Ask, very softly, what is this? Then exhale and listen, not for an answer, but for the texture of the moment. Warm air leaving, shoulders settling. A small pause that feels like a door slightly open. The question does not demand. It points. Let it point you into now. Bring the light of the question to the face. Notice the space between the eyebrows from the inside. What is this? A sense of softening, perhaps, or a quiet pressure, or nothing much at all. Whatever appears is the answer or this breath. Move to the eyelids, heavy, heavier. What is this? A tide of drowsiness, a gentle ache giving up its job, the wish to stop trying. Let each noticing be complete enough. Let the jaw unhook, the tongue rest broad at the floor of the mouth. What is this? The glow of ease in the cheeks, the trace of the day sliding away, the simple fact that you are here, breathing nothing to fix. The question is not a command. It's a soft lamp you set down in each room of the body, then leave as you go. Lower the lamp to the throat. Feel the air passing, the hollow corridor widening on the exhale. What is this? A quiet, a little release, a sense of being allowed rest in that. Shoulders now, feel their slow descent. What is this? The answer might be warmth spreading sideways, or the memory of effort dissolving, or a small wave of fatigue that tells the truth without words. Walk the question down the arms. Upper arms slacken, forearms quiet, wrists unhook. What is this? Hands grow heavier, warmer, as if they understand before you do. The palms hum faintly with life. Fingers curl or lengthen exactly as they wish. Each sensation is the lesson. This is just this. The question keeps you close enough to feel the lesson arrive. Now across the chest. Breath widens the ribs. Breath returns them home. Somewhere behind the sternum, a steadiness goes on, keeping time. What is this? Not an idea of a heart, but the present pulse of it. If tenderness rises toward yourself, toward the day, let it. If nothing special appears, let that be the answer. Nothing special is the most restful truth. Back body, upper back spreading into the mattress, mid back following, lower back setting down a thread of bracing you didn't know you held. What is this? A slow widening, like a door you forgot was stuck, finally moving. Hips, heavy, supported. What is this? The relief of being carried, thighs, knees, shins, ankles, feet, toes. What is this? Weight settling, warmth pooling, the ordinary miracle of belonging to gravity. Return to the belly. Watch it rise as if greeted by the question itself. What is this? The answer may be tied, here, then there, or a small guardedness that loosens when noticed, or the delicious neutrality of a body allowed to do nothing. Let the exhale pour out like warm water. In the small stillness after, let the question hover in the quiet. It does not pry the door wider. It shows you the door that's already ajar. Now meet sound. The nearest sound, fabric sighing, air moving, a faint creak. What is this? Not the name of the sound, but its feel, thin or round, brief or lingering. The farthest sound, a distant car, the world's soft hum. What is this? A thread that connects you to everything, then breaks by itself. Notice how sound appears, stays a moment, ends. Your mind learns endings by hearing them. Endings are sleep's closest friends. When a thought arrives, an image of a room, a sentence about tomorrow, a memory replaying, bow to it with the same curiosity. What is this? See its edges, where it starts to form, how it moves, what it's made of. Picture, word, sensation. Do not follow, do not push away. Watching is enough. Thoughts fed by grasping grow. Thoughts met with gentle seeing pass through, like birds crossing a moonlit sky. If a worry steps forward dressed as urgency, ask kindly, what is this? Feel the body answer before the mind. A small lift in the shoulders, a tug in the belly, breath growing thin. Meet those places with one slower exhale. The question and the exhale travel together. When the body softens, the worry often reveals itself as care in a loud costume. Care can lie down. Let it lie down beside you. Sometimes the question will meet an emotion, sadness, restlessness, a flavor you can't name. What is this? Not why is this? Not how do I fix this? Only what? Where does it touch the body first? What shape does it take? Does it move or hold? Each answer is a thread that unknots. You are not interrogating. You are accompanying. Emotions escorted by kindness finish their visit more quickly. Let the question become breath-sized. Inhale asks without words. Exhale listens without words. If you enjoy syllables, let them be small. And even inhale. What? Exhale. This. If words feel like too much, let the breath carry the shape of curiosity without sound. Curiosity without pressure is rest. You can ask the question of the question itself. When it grows bright, what is this? A light that wakes your senses. When it grows dim, what is this? A feather settling into the dark. If it vanishes, that too is an answer. Sleep enters when even useful tools grow quiet. Gently turn the lamp toward the sense of me, not a deep dive, just a glance. What is this? This I, who is tired, who wants sleep. Feel the immediate touch points, weight, warmth, breath, pulsing. The idea of me relaxes into sensations, and sensations relax into space. The space does not need to sleep. It knows how to hold a sleeping body. Rest in that knowing. Try a few playful inquiries softer than whispers. Where is the next thought before it appears? What is the shape of the pause at the end of the exhale? Where does the sound go when it ends? How heavy is a hand when no one is holding it up? Ask, then let the mind answer with silence. Silence is a very good answer. If the mind insists on solving, give it an easy job. Look for the precise moment the exhale turns into the pause. What is this? The turn is always happening, always simple. Each time you notice it, you lean a little farther into ease. When noticing becomes effort, stop. Let the boat float. The river remembers the way. Let the body speak in small sentences you can feel. Forehead smooth, eyes settling, cheeks warm, jaw unhooked, tongue broad, throat open, shoulders low, chest wide, belly soft, hips heavy, legs long, feet released. After each sentence, ask quietly, what is this? The body answers by softening another fraction. Fractions add up. If old stories appear, I never sleep quickly, I always overthink. Meet them with the same lantern. What is this? Listen for their weight in the body rather than their volume in the head. Perhaps a thin band around the brow. Perhaps a flutter in the chest. Tend the weight, not the words. The band loosens, the flutter slows. Stories without a body to wear them slip off. Imagine the question as a moon over water. Each breath is a small ripple. The moon doesn't chase ripples. It appears in everyone and remains itself. Let the question float above every sensation, reflecting in each without effort. The reflections change. The moon stays. You are not searching for a final reflection. You are letting reflections do what they do while you drift into the calm that holds them. If you like, count a few rounds to steady the rhythm of looking. Inhale for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. What is? Exhale for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This. Do this 3 times, then stop counting and continue only with feeling. The goal is not a number. The goal is the felt sense of peaceful question meeting peaceful breath until one is indistinguishable from the other. Meet the edges of your form where air touches skin. The cool at the nostrils, the quiet at the cheeks, the neutral air around the wrists and ankles. What is this? Noticing edges softens them. When edges soften, vigilance rests. When vigilance rests, sleep sees its chance and comes closer. Turn again to the heart area. Place 3 quiet breaths there. On the first, what is this? A steady rhythm. On the second, what is this? A warm light the size of a small stone. On the third, what is this? A widening circle of ease that does not ask to be noticed. Let the circle move on by itself. You don't have to follow it. Let the question visit your sense of time. How long has it been? The mind reaches for a clock. What is this? A ripple of fear, quickly seen and soothed by a longer exhale. Time keeps time without you. The night knows its own schedule. Your part is simply to keep company with now until now becomes sleep. If restlessness rises in the limbs, offer it the question and a small delay. What is this? Wait half an exhale. Many impulses crest and fall when seen. If movement still asks to happen, answer with the smallest movement that satisfies. Then be still again and ask once more. The body appreciates negotiation more than orders. Occasionally, the question will feel like a bright star. Other times, like a warm stone in your pocket you forget you're carrying. Both are fine. When it shines, look. When it dims, trust. The point is not to keep it. The point is to let it keep you near the truth of this breath, this weight, this warmth, this moment that needs nothing from you. Let attention widen now until it is like a soft lantern held at chest height, lighting a small circle that includes breath, body, bed, and the nearest layer of room. In that circle, ask once, barely there, what is this? Do not wait for reply. The circle of light itself is the reply, enough to see what's needed, dim enough to invite sleep. Offer 3 bows in silence, to the breath that continues, to the body that listens, to the not knowing that frees you from effort. Not knowing is not ignorance here. It is innocence. It is the beginner's mind returning to cradle you. It is the release of needing to name everything before you can rest in it. Now let the question become thinner than a thread. Perhaps only the shape of it lingers. Perhaps only the habit of looking gently. Perhaps even that dissolves. When it dissolves, the looking has done its work, unhooked you from the nets of tomorrow and yesterday, returned you to the wide, quiet water that does not ask to be crossed. If a last clear thought arrives, place it on the breath and ask one final time, softer than ever, what is this? Watch it blur at the edges, become lighter than mist, then not there at all. The breath keeps moving, the body keeps settling, the room keeps holding, the night keeps deepening. From here, there is no practice left, only gravity and kindness. Let the next exhale lengthen by the smallest degree you can feel. Let the pause at the bottom open like a tiny gate that no hand must touch, step through without moving. The feather of the question rests where you set it. The bell you rang at the beginning has faded into a hush that is almost sleep, and as breath continues, quiet, regular, easy, sleep finds you as you are, already here, already enough, already held by a silence that answers everything by needing no answer at all. Imagine a quiet garden opening the moment you close your eyes, paths pale with moonlight, leaves that breathe, stones warmed by the memory of day. You stand at the threshold without moving, already inside. The air is tender and still. Nothing hurries. Nothing asks you to be different. Let the first easy inhale feel like lifting your foot. Let the long, unforced exhale feel like placing it down. In-breath, lift. Out-breath, place you are walking without effort, moving without needing to go anywhere. The path is set with smooth stones. Each one meets the soul like an old friend. Imagine that every stone carries a small permission. Soft, safe, enough, rest. You don't read them with your eyes. Your feet read them for you, and the message rises through ankles, calves, thighs, until your whole body understands. Here is gentle ground. Let your arms hang loosely beside you, heavy in a pleasant way, as if they remember how to swing only when invited. Shoulders descend by a fraction. The back spreads, wide and unguarded. The jaw unhooks, the tongue spreads warm and broad. Your face becomes a lake that forgot how to ripple. You're not performing sleep, you're discovering it at the pace of a slow step. A breeze passes through bamboo, soft and articulate, as if the leaves were whispering a story told only at night. On your right, moss gathers like velvet at the edges of the stones. When your step places a little weight nearby, the moss answers with a softness that rises into your body. The nervous system notes this and lets go of one thread of bracing you hadn't noticed until now. Let your breathing set the rhythm of the walk. If a count soothes you, let it be simple. 4 on the in-breath, 6 on the out. If numbers feel like fences, trade them for a quiet phrase. Inhale, I arrive. Exhale, I am here. The words can be whispers or shapes without sound. They help the mind know what the body already knows. Every few steps, a lantern appears, paper thin, barely glowing, a moon folded into a smaller moon. When you pass beneath one, feel the glow brush your forehead and drift across your eyelids. It is not bright enough to wake you and not dim enough to lose you. It sets a tone, soft, steady, kind. Your breath takes its cue and lengthens another half beat. Ahead, a wooden bridge arches over a shallow stream. Water moves around stones, saying yes to everything it meets. As you walk onto the bridge, listen to your steps sound the boards, hollow, round, friendly, then fade. Each footfall is a sentence ending in a period. The sound of endings calms the part of you that thinks it must hold the page open forever. Pause at the crest of the bridge without stopping the breath. The stream's rhythm, gather, pour, rest, teaches your body the same sequence. Feel the out-breath pour through you like water through fingers. Feel the little rest at the bottom, like the stream's quiet behind a rock. You do not need to hold the pause. It arrives by itself, perfect in its brevity. Step down. The path curves to a stand of ferns, their fronds like green feathers. Fireflies drift here and there, not as a show, but as proof that tiny lights can be comfortable in a large darkness. Let your attention become like that. Small lights that blink and rest, never straining to stay on. Bring awareness to your feet. Heel touches, weight spreads, toes relax. Back foot lifts like a thought that has lost its urgency. Then it places and the cycle repeats. You are writing a poem in the dust, one step per line, each line ending with the same quiet rhyme. Out breath. If a fragment of the day flashes, someone's words, an unfinished task, place it gently on the stream like a leaf. Watch the leaf turn once in a small eddy, then slip forward and carry the thought with it. You do not need to chase the leaf. The garden has many leaves. The water knows which way is down. A low stone bench waits beneath a pine. Sit in imagination and feel the bench steady you. The wood in your back loosens. The shoulders notice they are not pillars and sink lower. Hands rest on thighs, warm and heavy, as if holding polished stones warmed by the sun. Let the breath move in the open space you've made. From this bench, the night has a subtle scent. Green tea and rain, a hint of jasmine. Something that tells your mouth there is sweetness in the world that you don't have to pursue. Taste becomes content. Hearing widens to include a distant owl, a thread of wind. Sight, behind closed eyes, becomes a deep grey blue that thickens toward velvet. Stand in the slowest possible way. The path opens into a ring of stepping stones that lead across a narrow inlet of the pond. Take them one at a time. Each stone receives one breath. In-breath touches, out-breath settles. On the last stone, linger in the small stillness after the exhale. The hush that arrives when everything has found the right place. Now you are at the water's edge. The pond holds the moon like a calm thought. When you look, your reflection is soft and kind, the way you might appear in the memory of someone who loves you. Let your breath match the surface. Broad in-breath, longer out-breath. The longer out-breath teaches the chest to lower, the ribs to fold gently, the heart to be unhurried. Walk on. The path narrows to sand, and your feet leave faint prints that begin to blur almost immediately. Impermanence feels merciful here. The garden records only what it needs to teach you, then erases the rest. Let that lesson travel into your thinking. The mind can blur its own footprints. The day does not require a transcript tonight. If restlessness stirs in a calf or shoulder, meet it like a gardener meets a stray twig on the path. Notice, move it lightly. Continue. Try stillness for a half breath to see if the sensation fades. If it stays, make the smallest change necessary, then return to your slow stepping. You are learning minimal kindness, enough to help, not enough to wake the house. Let the question, how little is enough, guide a few steps. How little effort, how little correction, how little attention to keep the walk alive. The answer is simpler than you think. The path walks you when you stop managing it. The breath breathes you when you stop steering it. The garden holds you when you stop checking its walls. A small tea house appears, its sliding door open to the night. Inside, a low table, a single cup, steam like a blessing rising and disappearing. You don't have to go in. Just stand at the threshold and feel how the sight of warmth warms you. Bow slightly, not a ritual, a thank you, and continue. Gratitude is a shortcut through tangled thoughts. It turns the mind toward enough. As you walk, return to the belly and feel the lift and fall. If it feels guarded, place a breath there like a warm compress. In-breath arrives. The fabric of muscle gives a little, out-breath leaves. The fabric drapes a little. No pushing. Slowness is the key that opens many doors at once. Let your attention travel down the back of the legs, hamstrings slackening, calves forgetting their alertness, ankles no longer holding a line. Feet find their own angle. If one turns outward and the other inward, let asymmetry be part of the design. Nature rarely uses a ruler. Sleep doesn't either. The path bends through a grove where the ground is needle soft. The faint resin scent invites the lungs to deepen. Without trying, the out-breath grows a shade longer again. Listen for the tiny pause after it. Like the silence between footfalls when you are careful not to wake a house. That is the most restful place in the walk. Visit it without staying. Doors work best when you keep them free. If the mind delivers a problem dressed up as urgency, what about tomorrow? Gesture toward the far end of the garden. There, a simple gate stands closed with a polite sign. Opens at daylight. Tomorrow belongs to daylight. Night is for restoring the feet that will walk you there. The gatekeeper smiles and returns to his tea. You smile and return to your step. A heron stands at the shallow edge, motionless. You learn from its posture how to be both alive and still. There is no tension in the way it waits. It is not waiting for anything, only being what waits. Let your whole body try that on. There is no appointment with sleep. There is a posture that sleep recognizes, a posture that says, I'm available. The path brings you to a circle of flat stones, laid like a clock without numbers. Walk it slowly. With each stone, offer a single word to the night. Soft, loose, easy, quiet, home. If words become too much, offer the sound of your out-breath instead. The circle does not need to close. You can step out of it when you are ready, and it will remain round in its own way. Now the garden draws you back toward where you began, though nothing is exactly as it was. The lanterns seem warmer. The stream seems slower. Your steps are so small, they're hardly steps. The path narrows to the width of your breath. The gate is simply the space between out-breath and in-breath. You pass through every time without effort. Return, without moving, to the bed that has been holding you the whole time. Feel pillow, sheet, the gentle weight of blanket. Let the mattress become the smooth stones you trusted. Let your feet remember how to place, even while still. The body carries the garden now. The path is beneath your ribs. The pond is behind your sternum. The lantern is the warmth in your hands. If a thought taps on the door, show it the wooden sign you used before. Garden hours. It nods and promises to come back when the tea is poured in daylight. No locks, no struggle. Doors that close gently are the easiest to keep closed. Let everything grow smaller, softer, slower. Breaths like petals opening in the dark. Sensations like ripples that begin and end without comment. The walk becomes a sway. The sway becomes a drift. The drift becomes the stillness that carries movement inside it, the way a river carries stones that look like they're not moving at all. For 3 more breaths, let the rhythm speak in you. In-breath lifts a little. Out-breath lays everything down. In-breath, lift. Out-breath, lay down 1 more time. Then stop naming. The garden does the walking, the breath does the breathing, the night does the watching. You do the resting. From here, shorten the distance between you and sleep by doing less and less, until doing is a word that floats away. The out-breath lengthens by the width of a feather. The pause opens like a small gate in a low wall. You step through without lifting a foot. The path continues on its own. The lantern's light thins to a friendly memory. The stream keeps speaking softly to stones who never answer. And you, who learn tonight to move like a whisper, are no longer moving at all, only being carried across the cool, kind ground of the dark, until the garden folds into you and you disappear into its quiet, which is the quiet of sleep. Imagine a quiet room that smells faintly of warm water and clean wood. Somewhere nearby, a kettle finishes its quiet song and then rests. In your hands, real or imagined, a simple cup, nothing ornate. The shape welcomes your palms, the way night welcomes stars. Naturally, without asking for effort. Let your hands receive the cup. Let the cup receive your hands. This is attention. Simple, steady, kind. Before you drink, notice the warmth where your palms meet the curve. Feel how heat travels into the fingers, into the wrists, then gently up the forearms. Let your shoulders hear this warmth and drop a notch. Let your jaw hear it and unhook. A soft breath leaves you without being told. Steam rises. Something in you rises with it and then thins into quiet. Bring the cup toward your face and pause. Inhale as if you were smelling the first rain of the season. Nothing dramatic, just a clean note that opens the space behind the eyes. Exhale through the nose or mouth, easy and unforced. If you like, pair breath with the smallest phrase. Inhale, sip. Exhale, release. Sip, release. The words can be so light, they barely touch the mind before dissolving. Now, taste without hurrying. The first touch on the tongue is a bell rung once. It says, here. Attend to the small path the liquid takes, over the tongue, around the cheeks, down the throat. Follow it with curiosity the way you would watch a leaf float along a calm stream. Feel the swallow complete itself and leave an afterwarmth blooming behind the sternum. Stay long enough to meet that warmth. Attention makes it easier to find. Set the cup down in your lap or on a small table in your imagination. Let both hands rest around it as if holding a sleeping creature, supportive but not tight. Notice how the breath changes when your hands are occupied with gentleness. Inhale gathers. Exhale softens. Between them is a small pause that feels like a respectful bow to the pause. It is the quiet that turns sipping into ceremony. If thoughts arrive, let them be like bubbles that rise and pop on the surface of the tea. You don't need to stir them or push them away. A clear cup clears itself when left alone. Your mind is the same. Attention is not pressure, it's presence. You are keeping company with what is already happening. Lift the cup again. Feel the little weight your wrists accept and the small balance your spine finds. Take a second sip, smaller than the first. Let the flavor open slowly. Perhaps a hint of grass, or earth, or roasted warmth, or simply warm water kindness. There is no correct profile tonight. There is only letting the moment touch you exactly as it is. If you sense a trace of bitterness, meet it with the same friendliness. Bitterness belongs to tea the way dusk belongs to evening. It helps the sweet notes be honest. Imagine the liquid you swallow becoming a thin river of warmth that wanders down through the chest. With the next breath, feel that river divide into small streams, one moving across the collarbones, one seeping into the spaces behind the shoulder blades, one traveling under the ribs. The streams spread as far as they need to and no farther. The body recognizes a map it once knew by heart: warmth, weight, ease. Pause and listen to the cup. Not with ears, listen with wrists and fingers. What is its temperature now? Notice the change since the first touch. Attention drinks change the way roots drink moisture. Impermanence becomes comforting when you feel it in small ways. Tea cooling, shoulders lowering, breath lengthening by itself. Try a few rounds of tea breathing. Inhale as if you are smelling the cup. Exhale as if you are pouring kindness from your chest. On the inhale, the ribs widen like a kettle filling. On the exhale, they settle like a stream smoothing a stone. If numbers help, breathe in for 4 and out for 6. If numbers feel like work, let breath choose its own measure and trust it. Turn the cup in your hands by a few degrees, feel the new points of contact. Attend to the tiny shift in weight, the way your palms say, "Oh, there." When you change how you hold a thing, the thing changes how it holds you. The mind learns this and stops bracing for the one right way to rest. There are many right ways. Tonight's is any way that is gentle. Take another sip. Notice the moment the liquid touches the tongue. That instant is a bridge between anticipation and experience. Stand on the bridge just long enough to feel it carry you. Swallow. Follow the warmth down again. Let the aftertaste linger like a soft note that proves the bell was rung. You do not need to keep ringing notes rest by themselves. Bring attention to the face. Smooth the space between the eyebrows, as if steam were drifting across it from the inside. Eyelids grow heavier. Tea has a way of reminding eyes how to close. The tongue rests broad and heavy. If there's a last bit of holding near the temples, imagine the cup's warmth traveling there and untying a nearly invisible knot. It only takes a breath. Now let the ritual visit the belly. Place the cup down and rest a hand there if it feels welcome. Inhale, belly receives, rises. Exhale, belly gives, falls. The hand does not press or fix. It listens. If you feel guardedness, offer a sip of breath. Many knots untie when they are seen without being pulled. Imagine the tea leaves that once were folded tight. A tension from warm water made them open. Let this image become instruction for your muscles and thoughts. When warmth and patience are present, opening happens without force. You can be steeped, not stretched. You can unfold by degrees. Lift the cup again and bring it close to the heart without drinking. Feel warmth in the sternum, warmth in the throat. Offer a simple phrase to ride your exhale. May I be at ease. Then, if you like, widen it. May we be at ease. The cup remembers many hands, the ones who planted, picked, dried, packed, shipped, and brewed. Their care sits quietly in your palms. Let gratitude rise like steam, seen, felt, then gone. Sip once more and let the swallow be slower, the attention finer. Notice the small wave across the throat, the subtle press behind the heart, the descending river turning the edges of your belly to velvet. Just for a few breaths, Imagine that each exhale pours a small ladle of warm tea farther down into the hips, the thighs, the calves, the feet. Hips loosen, thighs broaden, calves stop pretending to be springs. Feet remember the floor of the night and settle into it. Return the cup to its saucer or the safe space near your body. Listen for silence. It isn't empty. It tastes like cedar, linen, and sleep. If the mind reaches for a plan, point it to the cup and say gently, "Just this." Planning bows and sits down. It will be served in the morning. If an old regret rises, pour it a tiny sip of your attention and let it drink without conversation. Regrets dry out when they are refused. They soften and shrink when they are moistened with noticing. You are not fixing the past. You are quenching its thirst for acknowledgement and then letting it rest. Consider the cup's emptiness between sips. See how useful it is. Emptiness makes room for what nourishes. In the same way, the emptiness you are making now by setting down the day is not a lack. It is the bowl that will hold your rest. Place a breath into that bowl and feel how the body receives it with relief. Take the penultimate sip. Let this one teach you patience. Heat asks for time. You give it time. Time becomes tenderness. Tenderness becomes safety. Safety is the doorway that sleep recognizes without being called. Scan down the back body, the wide plane of the skull, the slope of the neck, the padded corners of the shoulders, the long river of the spine. With each exhale, imagine the cup tipping a little, pouring a line of warmth along that river. Upper back spreads, middle back softens, lower back stops standing guard. The river reaches the pelvis and settles into a deep pool of heaviness that is pleasant to rest on. If you've been holding the cup in your mind for a while, set it down completely now. Feel the lingering warmth in the hands. Place your palms where the body asks, over the heart, across the belly, one on the chest, and one at the navel. Breathe 3 gentle rounds with the simplest mantra. Inhale, sip, exhale, release. Then let the words go and keep only the rhythm. Imagine the kettle far away, cooling in its place. Imagine cups drying quietly on a wooden rack. The tea room is tidying itself without you. Let the room in which you lie do the same. Objects retreat into their shapes. Walls relax into walls. The bed becomes a wide tatami of night. You are the soft weight placed upon it, exactly right for the space you occupy. If the mind asks for one last taste, take the final sip, so small it is nearly a breath. Notice the way finishes have their own beauty. The last warmth, the last note, the empty cup reflecting a dim light. Finishing is not loss. It is completeness expressed. Sleep loves things that have been completed, even in small ways. Set the cup aside. Place your hands wherever they want to be. Let breath become quieter than pouring and steadier than steam. Long exhale, small pause. Long exhale, small pause. The pause is the bow at the end of the ceremony. You bow, and the night bows back. Offer 3 soft gratitudes without words. 1 to the water that travelled so far to meet you. 1 to the leaves that opened and gave. 1 to your own attention that turned a few minutes into sanctuary. Then let even gratitude dissolve. From here, there is nothing left but the after warmth spreading through the chest, the belly, the hips, the legs. A slow tea of quiet, steeping your whole body. The tongue rests, the eyes rest, The hands forget their work and grow heavy in the kindest way. The breath pours itself, then stops pouring, then pours again. Steam rises in your mind and disappears into the ceiling of the dark. Do less, then less. Let the next exhale be a fraction longer, lowering you by a feelable degree. Let the little pause after it open like a sliding paper door step through without moving. The cup is empty. The heart is full. Attention has become flavor without effort. You are the warmth left in the bowl, cooling to the exact temperature of sleep. You don't have to fix the world tonight. Let that sentence arrive like a warm blanket across your shoulders. Feel how the body understands it faster than the mind does. The trapezius loosens, the breath lengthens, the jaw releases one quiet notch. Compassion does not disappear when you rest. It remembers its true shape, a light in the chest, not a weight on the back. Place one hand over the heart and the other on the belly, or simply let your attention rest there, as if your palms were two small lanterns. Inhale, as though you're gathering a modest glow. Exhale, as though that glow spreads a hand's breadth in every direction. Nothing dramatic. Kindness seldom is whisper inwardly, if words help. Soft heart, soft night. The body hears permission more clearly than instruction. Bring to mind the urge to help, to hold, to carry, the noble tendency that kept you going today. Sense where it settles in your body. Maybe across the shoulders like a cloak. Maybe behind the breastbone like a tight knot of intention. Imagine unfastening the clasp of that cloak. Feel it slide down and pool at the waist, then the hips, then the bed. What remains on your shoulders is only the air, and even the air is gentle. Let the breath become a lullaby that compassion sings to you. On the inhale, let me receive. On the exhale, let me release. Receive, release, receive, release. If the mind tries to make this into effort, smile at it the way you'd smile at a child still wide awake past bedtime. Shh, we'll care again in the morning. Kindness includes the part of you that believes it must stay up to keep everyone safe. Imagine a simple bowl on the nightstand. Into it, place the concerns you've been cradling. Names, faces, households, headlines, the ache of the world, the small personal sorrows that ache no less for being small one by one. Set them down, not far away, just into the bowl. The bowl is steady. The night will watch. You do not abandon anything. You entrust in trusting is how compassion breathes. Let the exhale lengthen by a breath's width. Feel how a longer out-breath tells the nervous system, we are safe enough to let go. With each lengthened breath, imagine the bowl's surface brightening, as if kindness were a quiet phosphorescence that doesn't need you to stir it to keep glowing. If guilt knocks, shouldn't I be doing more? Answer with the simplest truth. Rest is part of compassion. Tomorrow needs a clear heart more than a tired hero. Move your attention to the face. Smooth the space between the eyebrows from the inside. Let your eyelids grow pleasantly heavy. Let the tongue rest broad and low, the jaw unhooked. Imagine someone you love resting exactly like this, untouched by demands for a few hours. Feel how quickly you'd protect their sleep. Offer yourself the same protection. Sleep, sweetheart, you might hear yourself say. It is not sentimental. It is correct. Now let compassion widen without effort. Picture a small circle of light around your bed, room enough for you and all your parts. Inside the circle, everything you are is welcome. The helper, the worrier, the planner, the weary one, the soft one. Offer the whole circle a simple blessing on the exhale. May all that is here be held. The words can be quieter than a breath. The holding does not require your hands. The night has many hands. If someone comes to mind who suffers, someone close or someone far, let them stand at the edge of that circle. You don't pull them in, you let your glow reach them. On the inhale, gather a little warmth. On the exhale, may you rest. Nothing more. Do this once, maybe twice. Then place their image gently in the bowl. If it returns, it only means the heart is awake to the world. Say, I see you. Then, tomorrow. Compassion becomes wiser when it learns the word tomorrow. Try an easy rhythm for a few rounds. Inhale for 4, exhale for 6. If numbers feel fussy, use syllables instead. Inhale, kind. Exhale, ness. Or inhale, I'll care. Exhale, after rest. The phrase isn't a promise you have to keep. It's a doorway you walk through now, into the simple room where your breath rearranges the furniture back into ease. Scan slowly down the body with a caretaker's eye, gentle, practical, kind. Forehead, smooth. Eyes, heavy. Jaw, unhooked. Throat, open. Shoulders, low chest, wide. Heart, soft. Belly, warm. Hips, heavy. Legs, long. Feet, released. With each quiet naming, add a sentence underneath. Thank you for your work. You may stop now. The body responds to gratitude by setting down tools it didn't know it was still holding. If tears rise, because everything you carried today finally has a place to dissolve, let them. They are warm water on soil that has been dry too long. Compassion is not the refusal to feel. It is the willingness to feel without tightening. Tears finish their own sentences. You do not need to add commentary. Let your attention settle in the heart area again. Imagine a small, steady lantern there, not bright, not dim, just constant. On the inhale, the lantern brightens half a shade. On the exhale, it shares that shade through the ribs, the upper back, the throat. The lantern doesn't ask you to hold it. It's fixed on a hook. All you do is notice it and agree not to blow it out with worry. If the mind delivers the old vow, I must help everyone, let it arrive like a beloved song played very softly. You can hum along for a line or two, then let the music become background. Tonight the vow is not a command, it's a cradle. The world is rocked gently even when you are asleep. The ocean makes tides in the dark without you watching. Your boat learns this rhythm by lying still. Try a light version of Tonglen that doesn't burden the night. On the inhale, breathe in the cool ease of the room. On the exhale, breathe out a warm wish. Cool in, warm out. If the urge arises to take in someone else's pain, let the night do that for you. You are practicing the easier truth. You don't have to carry to care. You can send a quiet blessing and remain soft. Let the shoulders lower again. Add a millimeter to the drop. The collarbones widen. The upper back spreads into the bed, then the mid-back, then the low back. With each exhale, whisper inwardly, no one to fix. Not because nothing is broken in the world, but because nothing is broken in this moment, that rest will not help. Compassion without rest grows sharp. Compassion after rest grows wise. Bring attention to the hands. They have reached, held, typed, lifted, pointed, soothed. Feel their corners, the small bones, the warm palms, the ring of sensation around each finger. Place a breath in the hands and let them grow heavier, as if you'd set down an instrument after the song. Let them fall exactly where they want to fall. Kind hands know where to rest. Let sound teach you the scale of night. Nearest, the hush of air, a fabric settling, your own breath. Farthest, a distant car, a leaf's faint shuffle, nothing at all. You are not the guardian of these sounds. The world does not require your vigilance to continue. If a protective part insists on keeping watch, give it a clear job. Wake me only for what truly needs me. Guardians relax when they are given precise thresholds and a promise of being called. Now imagine the ones you love as small cabins in a dark forest, each with a dim window. Some lights are off, some remain on. In your mind, you set a little lantern at each doorstep, not a solution, a kindness. May you rest. Then you walk back to your own cabin and close the door lightly. Your lantern is enough to light this room. Closing your door helps the others close theirs. If an inner critic stirs, who are you to rest? Offer it a chair by the bed and a warm drink. Let it talk itself sleepy while you breathe. Critics are tired caregivers wearing uncomfortable armor. When you refuse to fight them and refuse to obey them, they remember their original job, to keep you well. Keeping me well includes sleep, you can say. It nods, grumpy, and then dozes. Return to the breath and let it become barely there, like a tide that smooths the sand after footsteps have passed. With each out-breath, feel the chest lower, the belly soften, the body grow 1 degree heavier. Heavy is good. Heavy is how the earth knows where you are and how to hold you. If you need a final phrase to rest on, make it small. I'm allowed. Or, enough for today. Or, rest serves love. Whisper it once on the exhale and notice what loosens in response. If nothing loosens, that is fine. The body has already heard you many times tonight in the language of small releases. Let the image of the bowl on the nightstand glow 1 shade brighter in your imagination. Everything you place there is safe in the watch of the dark. The room holds. The bed holds. The breath holds. You hold nothing. Offer 3 bows in your heart. 1 to those you tried to help today. 1 to the parts of you that tried to help. 1 to the quiet that now helps you. Then let even bowing go. The lantern in the chest continues to hum its low, kind note, a lullaby the body understands even in sleep. From here, do less, and then less again. Let the next exhale lengthen by a feather's width. Feel the little pause at the bottom arrive by itself, the smallest doorway already open. Step through without moving. Compassion stays lit like a pilot light you don't have to tend. The bowl keeps watch. The night keeps vigil. Your bones remember the shape of being carried, and the whole body, relieved of duty, drifts into the deep and tender silence where love refills itself, so that morning can find you gentle and strong. Not because you tried, but because you truly rested. Let the quiet you've gathered settle like warm sand in a clear bowl. You don't need to hold the bowl. Place it on the nightstand of your mind and notice how it stands on its own. Breathe in the nearness of it. Breathe out a soft thank you to breath, to body, to the simple courage of resting. Now, with no strain at all, allow a gentle wish to unfold from the center of your chest. Not a project, not a push, just the easy direction a warm current takes when it meets open water. May this calm be useful. Let the words be barely there. If words feel like too much, feel only the sense of offering, the way a fragrance leaves a cup of tea, the way warmth leaves a hand and enters a sleeping cat's fur. The offering makes its own path. Picture the calm you've gathered as a small light cupped in the palms of your heart, steady, not bright. On the inhale, the light steadies. On the exhale, it widens a hand's breadth. First, it brushes your own edges, forehead to jaw, throat to shoulders, heart to belly, hips to feet. May I rest. One more breath, and it reaches those close to you, the ones whose faces grow soft when you see them. May you rest. Another breath, and it thins and widens at once, like mist across a field, touching those you don't know by name, but know by feeling. Night shift workers, anxious minds, lonely rooms, newborn cries, elders dozing in chairs. May we rest. You don't have to picture it well. Rest does not require skill at images. Intention is enough, the kind that is so light it leaves when held and stays when forgotten. The mind will try to organize this generosity. Smile at it and keep it simple. Inhale, gather, exhale, give. If a tiny guilt murmurs, "Is it okay to keep some for myself?" Whisper back, "Yes." Calm shared from depletion turns brittle. Calm shared from overflow turns kind. Keep enough to sleep well. Sleep well to keep enough. Let the breath lengthen slightly on the out-breath. Feel how that length lowers the body by a small degree. The small degree is where truth lives tonight. Imagine placing a quiet blessing on the pillow beside you, as if the night were a guest who will continue the work while you rest. Please carry this where it's needed. You don't supervise, you don't track, you don't check. You let the night be good at being night. Bring your attention to the hands. They've carried many things today seen and unseen. Turn the palms upward for a moment in your imagination, as if to show the sky they are empty now. Notice the relief that enters the wrists when nothing is being asked of them. With the next breath, let the palms return to whatever position they prefer, over heart, at the sides, one on belly, one on chest. Where they land is where letting go lands too. If a person or situation rises insistently, offer one clear breath. Inhale, I see you. Exhale, I release you to the care of the night. Not banishment, not abandonment, entrustment. Release is an act of respect. It says to life, I trust your timing more than my tension. If the image returns, repeat once, then lay it gently in the bowl with the others. The bowl is the altar of enough. Imagine now that every place your body touches the bed is a small altar as well. Head, shoulder blades, hips, calves, heels. On each altar, place a single word of dedication. Peace, ease, safety, kindness, sleep. Do this without hurry, as if setting 5 smooth stones where they most belong. Feel how the body answers by getting heavier over each place. Heaviness is devotion becoming physical. Let the face be your final altar. Smooth the space between the brows from the inside, as if a fingertip of warm water were tracing that little valley. Allow the eyelids to rest like soft doors drawn to. If a last bit of watchfulness hovers behind the eyes, give it a job with a very small scope. Listen for true need only. Gatekeepers relax when trusts are specific. The rest of the sounds may pass like moths through darkness, unjudged and uncollected. Offer 3 breaths of gratitude, the quiet kind that don't require words. First to the body for carrying you, second to the breath for accompanying you, third to the conditions that allowed this moment. Roof, bed, night, chance. After the third, let even gratitude drift outward with the exhale, not lost but planted, like seeds the dark knows how to tend. Now release the practice itself the way you'd release a paper boat onto a slow river. Picture the boat folded from a page of tonight's effort. gentle instructions, soft phrases, a few worn hopes. You place it on the surface of your breathing, and the breathing carries it. Watch it glide a little, turn a little, grow smaller. You don't follow. You're the river now, not the one who sends messages downstream. If there is any lingering sense that you must keep it going, loosen that knot by one thread. The night is cooperative. It continues what you have begun, not by copying your motions, but by dissolving them into its own wider rhythm. You are giving your calm to the dark, the way a singer gives a note to a choir and then closes their mouth. The sound still in the air, the strain gone from the throat. Let the exhale lengthen one more small measure. Feel the body's weight settle another level into the mattress, the way a book, having slid on a shelf, suddenly lands fully on the wood. That landing sound is silence here, a satisfied hush. Rest there. If you find the small pause at the end of the exhale, visit it like a doorway that needs no handle. Don't try to stay. Simply notice you were already inside. Consider the merest mantra to rest on, even if only once. May this ease touch what I cannot reach. Say it softly enough that the mind hears it and the body answers instead of thinking. Notice the answering. A subtle drop in the shoulders, a warmth spreading a degree lower in the chest, a loosening behind the knees you didn't know was holding. These answers are the night saying, I've got it. Now release even the dedication, not because it's wrong, but because it's complete. Drop it like a feather from an open hand and watch it vanish into the dark long before it hits the ground. When the hand is empty, it can rest. When the heart is unoccupied, it can be held. Let the outline of your body blur by a hair's breadth into the room. Friendly osmosis. The bed receives you. Gravity gathers you. You do not owe any more shapes or sounds to this day. If a final thought insists on being seen, place it at the very edge of your attention like a lantern set on a distant post. Visible, yes, and gently out of reach, the path between you and it dissolves. The lantern becomes another star among many. If the mind asks what comes next, offer the smallest honest answer. Nothing. Nothing isn't emptiness. It's unscheduled kindness. It is the world's most spacious appointment. In that unscheduled kindness, the nervous system completes its own tasks. Pressure dropping, pulse easing, warmth redistributing, repair beginning. Sleep is their meeting room. You don't need to attend. Your presence is already accounted for. Return once more to the breath, but with a listening so light it almost isn't listening. In-breath arrives like the tide's thin lace at shore, out-breath returns like the tide's gentle retreat. Between them is the beach, soft, safe, yours for the night. Linger in that feel of sand that holds the imprint of your foot without asking you to keep making footprints. If you wish, let a final trio of permissions seal the night. Permission for what you offered to find its way without you. Permission for what remains undone to remain undone. Permission for your whole being to release even the idea of releasing. As these permissions land, you might feel 3 quiet clicks inside, the way a house settles after the last door is latched. And now, let everything that helped you arrive grow thin. Phrases turn to hum. Hum turns to warmth. Warmth turns to presence that doesn't need noticing to continue. The bowl on the nightstand keeps its vigil. The paper boat follows the current into softer and softer water. The lantern in the chest dims to a pilot light that doesn't burn fuel so much as remember fire. You are not doing any of this. You are being done by it. the way a seed is being turned into a field by time. Do less again. Let the body lower by one more felt degree on the next exhale. Let the tiny gate at the bottom open on its own. Step through without moving. If dreams begin to pick up the thread, let them. Gentle hands continuing a soft weave you no longer have to watch. If nothing begins, let nothing be the softest blanket. Either way, you have given what you could in the kindest way. You dedicated, you entrusted, you let go. Sleep comes like a tide that already turned while you were speaking your last simple blessing. It moves under you and through you, lifts and lowers, unthreads the day and rewinds the body's light. The world fades to its natural hush. Your breath continues, regular as a far bell with no ringer. And the calm you gathered, offered, then released, goes on being useful in ways you don't need to know, while you are carried into deep, dream-kind quiet, exactly as you are, with nothing left to do.